I did not expect. These guys have been fantastic up
セー
until
ジ
this point,
セージレイズ
nothing compared to SMB.
サイファースカイアストラギャンビットがスカイサイファーアストラジェットバイパー
really paid off for them, but looks like actually Blaze are going to try and start off very quickly here in the pistol round. Lots of presence shown towards mid. Initially, Chronicle will be noted on the back of that boombot, but no progress just yet. Blaze are going to have to wait out this toxin so they can push through.
Yeah, Chronicle being kind of pressured from afar.
SMB は全員強いんだよな、ちゃんと
Very much to attention on this.
打ち合いが
And we do get to see Gambit playing on the defensive side at least. They get to kind of try and maybe state their value on this half, but SMB on the attack. They still strike fear into my heart, let alone the opponents. Defo was joining him towards vents there, but they're both going to peel away from this. It looks like Defo's going the long way around, maybe feeling this will end up being that piece towards B, but Shados has it in hand for now. Izzy's gone down, and now Nats. Next line of defense, going to fall back a little bit there, play a little bit safer. Maybe feeling that pressure starting to mount, as he is going to be a little isolated, but he does have the support through CT.
おおおおおおポーラなんかカメラも覗いちゃった今
B site wide open now, other than Defo, who will find Turco and Spike noted, but a 3v3 nonetheless here. Defo gotta be careful not to fall.
こいつらマジ
Yeah,
で
they've got to be so cautious about this.
SMB は
A little bit further away now. Luckily, Chronicle has joined towards CT, but a quick play
丁
back
寧
in
だよね
here.
やっぱり
Defo
丁寧
wants
にちゃんと戦ってい
to
く
Power's going to be removed, but there's still two players back of sight, time in their favor, and a wandering Defo gets his head taken off.
細かいいちいちプリエムが
Adjust as well. That's going to relook. Brave needs that it wasn't clean. Tries to fall away in the frenzy with the punish. And Redgar. A lovely round and a needed one for Gambit to just maybe find some reassurance here.
Oh, that's the first ticket.
めっちゃトレードキル重視してる感じがするわ SMB は今の動きとかもそうだけど最後の 2v2 のラフターで見えた時にもう一人動いてたもんね速攻もうすぐ反対側外して速攻カバー行くっていう
A key component of that was how clutch Nats was, right? How many rounds that he actually saved for them. And the way that we're expecting Supermassive Blaze to play this, they're going to be stacked up. They're not really going to be able to isolate, you know, these 1v1s the same way here at least. But round two, get off to a quick start. FO actually going to swing and miss there with the Marshall. And Supermassive Blaze once again stacked as 4, poorer elsewhere.
勝ってるね SMB
Yeah, pretty even buy as well.
いやもうゴリ押しゴリ押し
SMB going to take the first as well. There's a follow. Look how absolutely ferocious they are on the aggress, but it's going to be Shados to control and this quell.
さあなんだかんだでも 3v3 で武器持ってる全員全員セクターもうこれほぼイーブンって言っても過言ではないでしょ
Bit of info found off the back, but then look towards Ram. Good work on the trade. They're still finding value to keep it 2v2. Now Spike is with Turco.
これヒール上げたいね
A little cautious, but they know where
スペクター
Redgar
だ
is.
し
It's the final player, Shados. He was last noted towards Heaven, but not going to be an easy find here.
どうだろう
Gambit going to make them work for this.
まあエリアの取り方的に言ったらまあまあどっちも同じぐらいだなでも言っても、まあ、若干 SMB 有利かって感じ今の状況
more comfortable HP at least. Shados looks as if he's got a good read here.
30 seconds left.
With 30 seconds
さあここ噛み合うか
Two flashes too.
おおいかなかった
Can't go down on B. Actually, it's going to be noted there. Redgar should be coming through on the rotate. Might just
ここのサイファーの位置
Shados got to stay alive.
出ていった
Actually going to find a third. 50 HP. Turco now faced with a 1v2 scenario.
Not going to be a comfy one. Still one flash on Shados too.
このトゥルコ打ち合い強いですからねめちゃくちゃダブルキル何回見ていた一人だけ入ってってもう一人はアストラで木はあそこ張ったちょっと危険なプレイだったねしかも場所バレたと場所確定してるトゥルコ取った
Oh, Turco somehow slicing them into just manageable pieces, and they've turned.
いやちょっと
That's going to be the round back in favor to SMB.
難しいとこですよね今の
The back of Gambit so early now.
今スモークでスパイクを隠して解除してるかしてないか分かんない状態にしたら 1v2 有利にはなるんですけど次はただ
Dare I say arrogance, right? For Supermassive Blaze to force that hard into heaven. Gambit have to respect that. They're already
まあ、ス
playing
モークちょっ
very
と謎だっ
deep
た
on
な。
a lot of these defensive setups. It's not as if they
た
ever
だやっ
really
ぱ
figured
体
this
で
out in the early rounds.
キル取られた時にトレードキルできる形の方が強いのではないか。
Now the
まあ今のがギャンビット的な動きだとしたら、もしかしたらギャンビットの動きはよくわかんないけど、SMB は逆にああいう状況だと絶対トレードキル狙う動きだから。イージーだけ先頭でね、がっつりいく。おー、こいつはよく孤立するんだよな。ただ、強い。
Questionable tin of beans that you're not sure if it's beans, it's lost the label, Hypoc. No one knows what it is anymore.
There's something in
ト
there.
ゥルコの位置の壁もね、こっちの壁にしとくことによって、ギリギリまで来られてやられるってことはないです。斜めの壁になってこあそこ縦に壁張っちゃうと手前まで来られて下から撃たれちゃうんですけど、斜めに張ってるんで、ラフター側からはオフアングルで、CT 側からは壁壊さないとセージの姿見えませんよって言われてます。
Yeah, but imagine a bonus round if this gets converted. How nasty is this bonus now for SMB? It almost delays it, right? They're just going to be ripping away the money straight away.
I mean, if flips
まあ
the
でもラーメン
timeline
が
completely here, and Defo's actually thrown the operator in the mix. So you're right. This could be a full reset and an opportunity again to convert with lesser weapons.
さあこのコンビネーションね。
He was looking at the minimap there or what, but
今スロー部とアストラの吸い込みを同時にやってることによってジェット的なキャラじゃないと逃げれない感じです。まあどっちにしろ当たってはなかったけど。ちょっと見えたか？シェイドスの姿がちょっと見えた。ただ B かなり寄れてる。寄れてて、しかもヘブンのラックキル取れて、これかなり SMB つらいぞ。エリアめっちゃ狭いから。ただここ打ち合いでなんとかしていくっていう可能性もある。いや、ここつらい。これはもう挟まれててどうしようもない状況。いや、ただここで2キル取り返してって、HP 的にも有利じゃないか？武器はちょっと不利だが。しかも取っていった。しかも場所分かった。ダブルピークこう。おお。やっぱこれダブルピークが強いわ、このゲーム。スキルじゃない。スキルで合わせるのではなく、もうとにかく2対1、2対1を作り続ければ勝てるっていう太古の FPS 理論ですね、これ。
Slips through his fingers, he backs up towards spawn again, waits for that kind of lull, waits for the rotation to come through, then dips back outside the smoke and absolutely punished for it.
これもうずーっと見ててわかると思うけど、もう常にトレードキルの準備してますみんな SMB のチームは。
You could not ask for a better way for the economy to trickle for SMB. They are going to be so pleased with this. Quick flash though, Izzy has to respect that, but this Brave is going to get played in off the back. He's got support from Turco, he's got the back lines, and look at
さあなんかなんだファーストキルはギャンビットを取ったけど、まあエコなんでね。
As Gambit just don't seem to have the fire burning underneath them right now. SMB are greeting them every single step of the way. And once again, the money continues to swell. 3 alive, rivals maintained. Gambit's money, I don't know where they're going to be. They can get a purchase, sure, but they are just living in just paycheck to paycheck right now.
I'm
決勝戦
very
ですからね。
concerned as to what Gambit really can do here on the defense, because this pace is something they're not used to really dealing with, and again, Supermassive Blaze willing to go a little deeper than maybe traditional teams. We'll see a little bit of an adjustment here. It's Conical to pick up the slack towards B here, so a different setup altogether. So you can pop from Blaze. Actually, is he going to pop through with the showstopper here? Gets very deep.
ただフラッシュ食らってた。
We'll shut him down and no follow-up.
ナイスフラッシュ。
Four players from Gambit are on this site. Every other piece of utility is just dedicated towards A to try and help out the one player on his own, which will be Nat. But
さあどうする？
they're going to try and maybe dismantle this stack by moving away from that B piece, which they've
で
been
あと
able to do.
SMB の特徴としてはもうしっかり攻めるときはね、もうちゃんと固まっていくっていう。まあ一人ラークに行くパターンとか裏にするパターンはありますけど、
cracking towards heaven,
大
but
体3人以上、
Defo
4
he's
人
had
ぐ
a
らい
bit of a shaky one so far after that hit towards B, but that's going to make up for it. Good catch towards Pora, now reads the play, goes back in, gets a tag, not the frag, and has to fall off from this one. He does get his ult coming around, so
ただジェットの強みはこの相手にトレードキルさせない動きができるっていうキャラポテンシャル。
What's the utility invested here? And again, Nats has got his setup, but it's going to be
30 seconds left.
pretty much avoided here by Supermassive Blaze because they're all stacked up in heaven and Shados actually strung through the smoke and punished for that. The wall goes up, Defo sealed out.
ただこれ A サイト中にいてスクリーンもいてってなるとさすがに厳しいか。さすがに包囲されてたね。もう少し時間があればまた B 展開とかも、ね、できたかもしれないんですけど。これもスクリーンとね、ヘブン後ろ押さえられてて、A サイト中もいたら、どうしても囲まれてしまうから、厳しいですね。フィジカルも活かせなくなっちゃう。さあ、このワンピックがかなりでかい。
Actually want to have a say in these early rounds now. It's the first time we've really seen them be decisive, Lauren.
And it's exactly what the doctor ordered. They need something to stem the bleed.
SMB がかなりトレードキルになって固まってくるから、ジェットがワンピック取れるかどうかがかなり鍵になってくる気がする。
Sitting in hell, watching towards the push through from heaven. Pora gets seen.
さあ、抜かれるかこれ。
Utility follow-up as Redgar wants to close the gap. And he does so. That's a good bit of work coming in. That's a rifle now removed. That's an isolated push out from Brave, leaving Turco and Russ really not finding much ground here on this approach towards A.
Redgar caught going for the upgrade there, and Russ the last man standing. You can do any more damage really because
一個一個丁寧だね、やっぱりこの風に。
show diligence, not give away too much here because their economy a lot
これくらい丁寧に
fragile.
多分プレイムした方がいいですよ。
Right now you see, yeah, Gambit happy to
で
see
きることなら。
16 seconds left now.
これがめんどくさくなっちゃうんだけど。
Giving anything away to Russ. Other than that, just a little check just to see if he's still there, still present. Actually, I mean, looking back, was it 2 rounds ago? Everything in terms of the ultimates was available for Supermassive Blaze, and they've churned through everything. I think they still have a comfortable purchase in hand here with the buffer they had built up. Gambit bring it within 1 round. They're just about reaching, I guess, their full ultimate cycle now. But how repeatable is that? The early round there. Defo getting the pick, which is something, again, we talk about. He's been in position really to find value with the operator time and time again. And they've slipped through his fingers, Lauren. And really, if you're taking that much risk, on the other side of that, Supermassive Blaze have been so good at punishing it.
SMB が、これ落とすとちょっと金なくなるね。今回は A メインでワンピックを狙おうとしてる。まあこれ次第、これがどう出るか。ここサイファーが覗いちゃいそうだぞ。覗くと、まずい。おー、当たんなかった。
This point, SMB, maybe an adjustment of pacing, it feels like, maybe trying to get the lay of the land. It's early intention, but no big push behind it yet.
Shot from Redgar to open things up, though, and no res available. Supermassive Blaze will play this out as 4. Redgar again. This is it. Gambit looking to get a little aggy here in mid, at least to contest this presence early on. Nats now.
それはわかんないよね。バイヤー上がろうとしたからね。2人いるとは思わないベントには。
See the adjustment here from Gambit. Happy to sit a little deeper, and this is on the back of really Viper's Pit giving them some comfort on B side. Redgar now on the back of the flash to get the information, but
10個見えたけどそれいっちゃう。
Shados luckily bails them out, and Redgar will close things out. All tied up 4 apiece here, and I think the first time we're going to see Supermassive Blaze really have to consider their purchase here.
Yeah, the economy's going to be finally worked away at. Broken after that great run, but credit to Shados there for saving the life of Redgar in that. That was just fortuitous timing for him to come around and catch it just as they started to push. But let's look at how this is run now. 3 on the trot here. And I have been critical of Defo in the past, but it looks like he's found a little bit of footing here as well. He's been able to maintain and control a fair amount. I want to see if he can keep that up. This mid piece that SMB have been running has been countered, and it has been with a little bit of a dash of aggression here and there. They're actually taking those fights. And maybe a faster piece coming out, because it looks like Pora's going to lean forward early. But look at this purchase.
おお、これもエラッシュかがっつりエラッシュだな。
A little bit of punch behind it. It's not completely
おお、とんでもないところで止めた。
is going to pick out Izzy, and it's going to be the follow-up. Probably, oh, the adjustment is
とにかくトレード切る、トレード切る。
good shutdown
た
so
だ
far for Gambit
まあ厳しい。
and Turco.
さすがにね
To。the corner, and Defo's got him. Clean enough, Redgar. Yes, we'll lose life, but perfectly fine. No threats found yet. This is a good road to recovery for Gambit.
Thing is now is do we see Gambit explore more of these possibilities? And you could argue it's a little uncharacteristic, but something like Defo is absolutely
まあさっきからファーストキルを取られてるな。まあこのラウンドは
Yeah, if he can
結構だからあれとして
similar to what we saw on map 1, right? With Izzy, just keep
ここまで
supermassive plays guessing.
まあこの今のエコラウンド除いた3本のラウンドは毎回ファーストキル取られて 4対5になってみたいな感じだったの
It's
で
rare you get the opportunity to isolate Pora in any scenario.
まあそこがこっちがファーストキル取るかトレードができればまた違うのかもしれない。
But Shados has been finding a little bit of that form
あーっと危ない
scared people not too long ago. Flash goes in, and again we
さあ
know
ナッツの場
Gambit
所
will take some fights on this Chronicle and
あ、
Nats.
2人で見てたんだ
Yeah,
今
double facing
見
this
立て
time.
で
Previously it was just Nats there after the fallback from 1, but this time they were both actively facing from vents. But you are going to see the now adjustment. Seekers go in. Confirmation found. Gambit. They're keeping track of everything that SMB are trying to do here.
Yeah, actually, no theft going to be popped, but the information already gathered. Russ
おお
will deal with Redcar. Seekers in response here.
シーカー使っていく位置がバレる
Actually, Shado's got to be careful inside spawn.
さあこれで安全にサイトは取れた感じかな
We have ourselves a 4v4 here. Do Gambit. I'm ahead of the curve here, ahead of the spike
ス
plant.
カイがダンボール裏にいる
It's a good flash.
On the flash, it looks like Nats
Oh my
wanted to.
God.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's worked well.
setch fake there.
Really good push off the back of that flash. Sets a lot of players into motion, just turning the eyes away as Shados. It's not a
いつもが 1v4 だ
scenario to be in.
あら
Spikes
あ
now
ら
down, one to the left, one to the right, and 2 on the back
Oh.
lines. Turco with the find, and SMB hit the brakes for a second, but that just re-aggress, that re-push,
Turco が
that
強いよ
kind of approach just works so
Turco.
well for them. They've done that a
Turco.
couple of times now, especially towards B, just kind of weathering the storm for a second, and they seem to come out on top. But 5-5, a much more competitive scoreline.
Indeed, and we're seeing Gambit really not even isolate 1v1s. It's kind of like baiting in that double stacking. Ropes that was on the back of Nats previously playing a similar position, right? It's almost daring supermassive players to continue peaking, continue being aggressive. Right there, I mean, they're able to recover perfectly. Again, this time actually nothing shown towards mid. See, actually, on the back of this spy cam, there is a flash set up from Shados. So again,
さあ今回しっかりベントにドローン流していきましたねこれ
massive plays coming
これが
in
大
hot.
事さっきまでこれでベントに2人とかいてやられてたからねファーストキルさっきのファーストキル取られてたんだけどな
There's the flash.
なぜかかったな
See the setup here.
これサイファーが確認してフラッシュがゼロ距離で投げてフラッシュスカイがフラッシュゼロ距離で投げてっていう形だった
Utility spots the players pushing through, so
さあサイファーカメラ映ってる多分マップにも映ってるぞあれ
Lovely information.
ただ簡単に壊せる場所じゃない
That's a little unfortunate there. That could have worked really well as a combination, but not to be. And then there we go. So, Dog to kind of re-give the angle over. But this is, if anything, just funneling SMB through towards A, but the rotation comes in. Shadows
ここの吸い込み
in the right place, right time. Redgar
えぐいね
still buying time. Flash comes out. Gets the confirmation again.
さあどっち行くこれもう時間がさあこの D4 がでかいここで A 行くのはかなり厳しいから B ですよね 3v4 4v4 さあ B はメインにいるこの1キルがでかいぞさあこの1キルもでかいこの1キルがでかすぎるさあこれメイン確定されているメインも倒していくトルコわーお
All of the contingencies there were fantastic from Gambit as well, but it just comes down to headshots. Just
なんだそれ
getting slapped off every single corner. Turco currently
このゲームバンダルですよ
5 here. I
やっ
gotta
ぱ
say,
り。
single-handedly flipping that round on its head.
マジかよ。全部やられる視点で見えたけど、
That was
恐ろしいやられ方だった
absolutely
んで
insane, Lauren. We're coming into round 12 now. Defo will be able to get that operator online. Viper's Pit available. Red guy has his ultimate too. Other side, Izzy one away from the showstopper, so big tool available. Supermassive blaze.
ただ切り返すポイント良かったね。あそこで A 行ってたら絶対負けてたから、あそこで B 行けてたのマジででかい。あの時間で、まあ、あの時間30秒だったから A か B か選択しなきゃいけなかったんだけど、あそこでおお鳥で耐えたのに。
ファ
ーストキルは毎回もらってるんですよこれ SMB が。ただラウンドはなぜかSMB が取ってるっていう。さあこれはどうするんだ。ただこれかなりきついぞ。これバンダルの弱みはこういう時にあんまり必要以上に抜けないっていうの。おお、まあさすがにね。入れちゃった。
For a moment there, I didn't think Chronicle was going to check his back, but we'll close things out with a lovely piece.
まあバンダルでも抜いてった方が良かったように見えたけどな今。
All tied up here,
あ
Lauren.
スコア KD が意味わかんないことになってます。
That's far away from
KD が意味わかんないことになってます。
possibly be.
トゥルコ以外全員5キルとかなのに、トゥルコだけ15キルしてる。
They recovered after a big turn from SMB, but this is lovely from Chronicle. I could watch that all day long. Very well controlled, and that final one was quite the surprise. It did work forward,
これはちょっ
and
と
then they just cross each other.
噛み合ったね。
How unique, to put it that way. At 6-6, though, we now get to see how things look on the other turn of things. Gambit's attacking side worried me last time, but I don't worry as much, at least on split, but we'll see if my worries are in the wrong place or not. But here we go, Gambit coming in on the attacking side now, SMB on the defensive side, tied up at 6-6. And mid-control seems to be the early consideration from Gambit.
You hear if they can really find any value on the way through. It's going to be the trap
あそこの
wire
バイパーズピットはセンチネルとかだった。センチネルとかだったんでめっちゃ抜いてたな。
to give away any push coming through, and we'll deal with it. Sapora now on red alert. See, actually, his spy cap set up over towards Mail, Lauren. Now that's interesting because it's spreading his utility across the map.
これは A 来そうだね、
On
レン
either
ト。
site here, and actually, Pora going to walk through. Defo still lingering inside ropes.
ここでベント倒したけどそんなにいかないっていう。さあこのこの位置が強い。スカイの強いところでだ。フラッシュ避けれてるんです。まあ避けれたというよりは。
It's all on Brave's hands, and this is not looking likely, but maybe a quick kill could alleviate that stress. No, Defo's got him, and Gambit start as they mean to go on. First round in the second half.
Up there, I think Pora just slight misread there. He felt as if they'd obviously tried to bait out that rotation by dealing with the trap wire, and they were going to drift back into mid, but Defo ready and waiting.
SMB はあんまりうまくいってないように見えるな。
I think actually only one thrown in here on the back of Russ.
ギャンビットは最初はいいとこまで行ってるけど、最後なぜか取られてるっていうのは。
Again, they're going to spread very, very wide on this default. Spike not committed at the minute, and Supermassive Blaze actually going to stack everybody towards A site. I think pretty quickly Gambit should be able to figure this out. How cautious they are in approach.
ただこのチームの特徴を知ってたら敵がいる方にしかいないっていうのが分かりそうなもんだけどね。反対のサイトほぼいないんじゃないかっていう。まだ鳥も索敵されてない。これ B 行くんじゃないか素直に。固まってる可能性高いからねこのチーム。ちょっと見てれば結構わかるようなことである。
Slow and steady. Gambit being very cautious. That's going to be the one in middle to make sure those rotations are going to be a little tricky, so they have to go the long way around. defo clearing sight, and I think at this point you're feeling, right, that was probably an A stack. Boys, we should be good for the plant, but how close are they? And there we go, spike plant down, 5v5 post. We look to see what damage can be done. This is purely classics. This is as ecoed out as you're gonna get. So again, for Gambit, you're looking, oh, I'd say 4 alive if anything. Let's see what they can do with it. Late play coming in as well from Nats towards Heaven. He'll be able to kind of maybe.
なんかしようとしてるけど、全然決まらなそう。
If not, they wait CT and accept fate.
Stacking up here to do a little bit of damage if possible.
おお、入ってった無理やり。
It's going to be an absolute feeding frenzy.
今なん。
Turco actually going to get stuck inside, but we'll fall to the spike anyway.
That's fine.
We'll write that one off altogether. Just looking to make a late hit there to do a little bit of damage for some reinvestment here, but it will be a flawless round victory for Gambit. An opportunity here, a very good opportunity actually, as a fully fledged bonus round. Again, talk about the round timeline. Not too dissimilar here, even if we get the response from Supermassive Blaze here.
バイパーズピットの中に入っていくのは割と運ゲーだと思うんだよな、結局。
See here now, actually a much quicker piece from Gambit here towards A.
ある。
Ross has to have seen that.
結構運だし。
Just put the dog down. Finds Defo.
あれだけは。
He knows there's more as well. The quick flash in case anyone had made it closer, but no one's there. The wall's still towards Heaven
だから
as
そ
well.
の
So Izzy no knows.
他の行動と比べて
Fortunate.
一番取れそうだったら、
Really caught Nats in a bad
やっ
spot.
ぱそれを
Izzy's aim is
バイ
still
パーズピットの中入っていくのを選ぶべきな時もあるかもしれない。
Redguard's got it. Now a bit of an extended bonus, but keep in mind,
なんだかんだ
3v3,
3v2 だ。
it's not out of the realm of possibility. The rifles seem also aware of where Chronicle and Redguard may be. Brave with a nasty position to clear if they kept going this way.
ギャンビットの動きも慎重だから、まだワンチャンスありそうに見える。
Secondary objective really just to make this costly, and Redguard actually finding Brave will do just that.
おっと、ちょっと甘えたが。
Clean things up, but 3 kills, so again, you got to give it to Gambit there, at least on that round. And I don't think, actually, considering the damage done, I know Turco and Russ both took damage, right? Turco ended up healing Russ, so it's going to force the armor repurchase as well, which on a round like that does make things, it has a knock-on effect. Makes things very different. Even though they do come out with the win. Yeah, well, it's only one Spectre actually, so a couple of light armors dotted across utility-wise. Struggling though, actually. Looking at the important pieces, the wall online for Turco though. Oh, Defo!
Oh, Brave.
Actually,
Yeah, look at that push-up. Defo just hounded him down. He was following off the back of the
フ
utility.
ァーストブラッド率は圧倒的にギャンビットが高いな。
I love to see utility capitalized on. Great work from Defo there.
さあ、これで守りの要になるアストラがやられたから、
For that.
どうするかっていうところ。
And now they can hit the brakes for a second, reconsider their approach if they want to. That player advantage is
サイファーが
massive
詰め
at
て
this
るね、B。
point.
これは勝ち合うんじゃない？
I think that wall went down a little late, so probably another 15 seconds or so on it. But you can see already Nats and Chronicle going to stack up behind it, and there's nobody else on A's site.
さあ、4人固まってきたよ、これ。
Look to retake mid here, and Defo
SMB が4人固まってきた。さあ、全部めっちゃ出てくる、めっちゃ出てくる。あ、ただ、2キルもらった。これ痛いな。
As the spike makes its way over towards A.
OV2。
No one on site to take that, so let's see if they feel confident enough to work forward.
30 seconds left.
両チームのエースプレイやって誰ですか？むずいな。ナッツが強い時もあれば、デッフォーが強い時もある。SMB 側は、まあ、全員強いな。まあ、トゥルコ、今回はトゥルコ強いけど、イージーがめっちゃ強い時もある。ポーラもまあ、ポーラは無難にめっちゃ強い。
And no strangers to piling in, being proactive on the defense, and again trying to find something on the back of these weapons. Izzy one away from the showstopper as well, so potentially going to see a play one of the orbs, at least to make that a factor in the next round. Again, effectively cancelling out the requirement for one of these purchases at least. And again, as I said in the previous round, still keeping full armor, and the light armor, at least on the side of Russ, kind of lessens the dent on that purchase in the next round. Gambit now, 2 ahead. Looking for, I gotta say it.
シェイですね。
Looking a bit better
バインドの
in
やつかな。
terms of the attack, right? And Defo is certainly a talking point in that regard as one to kind of lead the charge. But I mean, we've talked about this before in terms of Gambit's typical composition, right? And how there's not really any enablers other than, you know, the Sova that appears. But here with Shados on the sky, that's a very very different play style. And I think as well, Defo coming online is important for Gambit in a number of regards, right? Because they don't often stack up, right? So they're looking for these kind of 2 or 3 different points of contact, whether that be Nats or Chronicle on one side of the map,
側が
or Defo in mid.
タイムアウトか。
So it's,
And this is the thing, and I'm with you, right? The difference when, as much as you can look at Defo and say, well, he's not getting entries, well, he's not got, you know, the sky working with him or something he can work off. It's very hard in that traditional composition, I'm sure. So already that difference in what the previous round where you saw Redguard's utility, Shados's utility, both finding huge impact, kind of proves that, okay, well, Defo can easily work off the back of that given the opportunity. Actually, that's a really integral thing in this half. So this is a great look actually for Gambit, a good adjustment coming out here. This is interesting to see, and I want to see how SMB now maybe find some composure, because it feels like they haven't quite found that footing here. They haven't quite found that, I guess, groove to it yet. They have been dictated to by Gambit. So we go back in, 7-9, Gambit do lead, and SMB haven't been quite able to find their footing. In this round, probably not too much different. They do have the 2 leftover rifles. The rest, pistols galore.
yeah, not making a play for the orb early on. He's going to have to rely on getting a kill here. But again, a good reactionary ultimate here, especially playing inside ropes. But a little bit of an adjustment here. As I was talking about the 2 players on the extremities. Chronicle over towards A this time, and it's Redguard in B main. Defo will fall. Russ thread the needle on the first, and that weakens
ファーストキル取れた。
Gambit's approach towards mid in this round.
2人勝ってんだよね、
Been
バンダル。
unretrievable though.
This is getting tricky though, because
逆に言えば2人しか勝ってないから、
Defo's been the one who's been finding
こ
these
こから
enemies inside block. I
の
get a
動
little
き次第で
nervous now, even
ガン
though
ビッ
they're
トも
up
全
against
然
I
めちゃく
guess
ちゃある。
the timing of that, bloody hell. Redguard's just like crept right like, no, I'm having none of it. No, but again, bear in mind they are outgunned here. They are, you know, for SMB they have the numbers, but the weaponry is still not quite there. The Seekers still going to highlight this.
これシーカーで、シーカーの位置を、
Poor and Izzy could catch a spike here, Lauren.
おー、
They definitely could, but Nats has found Russ. Let's see if Pora can do
俺
this.
これ、このリドガーがシーカーの位置をちょっとコントロールしてたね。
Is he just looked away?
間で待って。
He's gonna find Pora.
おー、しっかりキルしてた。
And now maybe the saving grace. 10 seconds to
た
get
だ、あ
to
と
one
2人は
side.
武器持ってるやつ。
The two rifles still
2V4 なんだよな。
Turco, but man, that timing could have been different.
Yeah, as well, coming out brave. We'll actually deal with
だいぶ削られた。
22 HP though. Going to be difficult to get any closer. Turco does have that heal.
まあ、これヒール欲しいよね
If。he can get a little closer in screens, at least a fighting chance.
ヒール上がるのは待たないと。
He'll give an across. Brave now getting boosted back up.
さあ、トゥルゴだったら全然あるぞ。おー。
Worked on there in the post bomb, but no, it's gonna be Gambit really well controlled. I was worried after that pick on towards Defo, if I'm gonna be honest. As soon as he fell, I was like, okay, this could be a problem. We've got the rifles in the right place. Maybe they'd isolated that player who's bringing in the spike. That could have been another potential pitfall, but it wasn't. So now double digits found for Gambit. This feels very grindy though. It's not an easy game at all.
I think as well.
今のラウンド、ファーストピックめちゃくちゃいい感じだったけど、まあ武器差あったんで、ちょっと厳しいかなって感じですね。
But it's unfortunate, I guess, for Supermassive Blaze not to find that kill onto Redguard, because again, that's a spike down and potentially changes the course of that round. Again, 3 players really committed towards mid to address Gambit's setup previously here, but they won't find anything on the back of the flash, and that will draw out the rotation, the wall going down in heaven as well, to give them a little breathing space for the time being. And now look at it though, trying to capitalize on the back of it. Gambit actually might be walking straight into this stack.
Fast. Defo's so
おー、何が起こってる？
absolutely no clue what was going on. Brave's still here, gonna post himself up on the corner. See Turco trying to keep their attention drawn. There's so many players on this site, but now look at that lurk through towards heaven as well. There is going to be a player coming through slowly but surely, but Nats is denied right now. He can't make that presence noted, so a pause has to be made almost here. Gambit need to wait a second or two, live out some of this utility, try and just hit the brakes. But I don't think they can even disengage really.
イージーのポジションがいいよ、これ。
They have to keep
お
committing to
ー、
this.
どうなるどうなるどうなる。
Drop the spike.
There's the flash. There's Izzy gone, and there's Turco and Russ. Redgar and Shados are down, but there's still many players here. Pora's found Nats. That's the lurk through on Heaven gone, leaving just Chronicle alive, and the stack in the right place at the right time. And SMB reading it very well, controlling that lurk, and Izzy finds Chronicle in the end, and SMB are back into it now. They found another. They found a little bit. And maybe that opens up the chance for the rest of this half. But at this present, that's the first real stopper I feel we've had on Gambit.
Yeah, the problem is, we talk about the previous map, it's the first real time we've seen Gambit, you know, step up and try to piece together, you know, a stacked execute. On the back of the Cosmic Divide going up, Defo going in with the spike, and I think a team flash actually coming from the back lines. Yes, it's a stack from Supermassive Blaze, but a couple of slip-ups from Gambit along the way. The spike carrier being...
EU は世界大会4チームですよ。
How often do we see Gambit not commit the spike either way in rounds? So, a little uncharacteristic.
Ooh, Shados. Big man fight towards middle, and the combination between him and Defo has been pretty
やっぱ
deadly.
このレベルでもあそこの
No res
ピークはするんだな。
not able to get that up yet. I
敵
thought
側も
he was there, but no, he's
ど
still
っち
one
両方
away.
のチームやってたけど、
Seeker's coming in, looking to see if the player peeks with it, but no flash
ここワン
to
キル
follow
狙っ
as
ていく
well.
動き
Now there goes Defo, and now
するん
suddenly
だ
res
この
is
レベル
there.
のこの
Toby
大会
gets
でも
his buddy back up. That's Izzy. But Porus lost
蘇
his
生は
life. Now,
そのまま通す
where's
と
that spike though? A million
ブレイブしっ
miles
かり
away
見て
from
る
being relevant, but a 4v3.
しっかりクレームして黄色い
Shado's got to be careful here. Russ actually responds.
Spike.
Yeah, I mean, there's none of this matters right now. Nats walks through just a really weird round. You look at that versus the previous round. Now, I ask the question once again: what the hell is Defo doing dashing in with a spike?
やっぱトゥルコの存在感はすごいね。
These set pieces continue to
こいつがバンダル構えて待ってたらスノピークは最低一人持っていく感じはするもんめっちゃ。
In terms of the protocols they have in place,
まあちょっとガン
look so
ビッ
weak
トが
in
グだっ
terms
た
of
かな
these
今。
kind of choreographed sight hits, Lauren. It's very strange.
I've got your trail.
Yeah, at this point,
What is
watching
this?
how this round went down.
あ、このフラッシュで行こうとしたんだ。
Yampy got onto Defo
あ、こ
account.
こ出てたな。
That was a straight up Yampy move. It's out of the Yampy playbook. I'm not sure if we love it, but it's there. Now this has worked down the money though. Now luckily for them,
あ、今回
Defo
エコで
can
す
sit
ね
on his ult.
エコだけど
So
武
that's
器
still
2
a way
本
we can
と
at least
ブレードストー
even
ンもある。
things out. Clear of utility through towards heaven, but no big
エコでもない
information
のか。
found. Oh, here we go.
ハー
Tries
フ
to
バイ
avoid
ハーフバイって
paint
感じ。
shells, and you can see 60, a little bit of damage done, but he's
さあ
right
イージー
back
が
up.
オペレー
He'll
タ
be
ー
fine.
でスクリーンにいます。
I think he wanted to dash into heaven there, but a little bit of a
I
miss.
thought
Yeah,
so
a little
for a
bit of a
second.
シーネット格付けしてったイージー
miscalculation
が。
on the timing there, and doesn't even get through the choke. So Gambit now have to slowly approach this. They flash themselves into ropes here.
Oh.
Turco actually
Oh.
ready and waiting.
見えたかおおー、これはブレードストームの距離。
There's still 3 players to deal with on a site here, Lauren.
Yeah, and I don't know if they're going to realize this.
さあこのカメラ
Towards fence. So that's another player kind of filling the void.
このカメラ
It's going to be towards the site, but Defo's
なんかえぐいカメラつけてない
That's pretty important. Pora's got the trade out, but Pora's still on the back lines.
Oh my
He is
God.
doing
オペレーターだから
so much for SMB.
カバーいけない
Defo's gonna try and thread the needle.
ただサイドで耐える。おー、
Huge
3キル耐えたけど。
impact this round.
いや、1v1。
Izzy up against Redgar, and Izzy's just going in. This is a BDP if I've ever seen it. Look at this guy.
どうする？
Izzy's crossed that gap,
まあ
and I don't
まあとりあえず
know
こ
if
っち置くよ
Redgar's
ね。
fully aware of how close Izzy could be. Still has the bot. To
おいー
Op is more than enough.
Izzy.
Izzy is nuts at this game.
やっぱオペレーター上手いやつと上手いやつの違いはこの近距離にあるよね。
And his crosshair lined up perfectly.
It was on, dude.
Doesn't matter. Still closes things out, and I gotta say it.
ここで当てれるかよ。
Much better approach there from Gambit.
オペレーターは
Again, seeing the spike not committed, Defo able to at least
まあ遠距離はもうこのレベルになってくると当てれて当たり前なんですよ。
but a little bit of a
オペレーターが有利な場所でガンをしとくっていう。ただこの 1v1 の状況でここでこの
I think Gambit had a window of opportunity that closed very quickly, and when they have to
こ
slowly
れ当てれる
you
か
know, wait for that heal to come through, then re-explore ropes, then re-explore all of heaven. It gives Supermassive Blaze so much time to just kind of sit there and go, okay, well, you know, you're burning up utility. We'll wait for the hit to come through.
To say as
うめえ
well,
オペレーターは
I'm used to CIS
あれを当てていくんだよ。
being pretty good, but man, Turkey has some very good offers as well. You think CNED, Izzy, all this talent. Pretty sick. This point Defo though, speaking of CIS.
今回はベントにワイヤー貼ってあって B ちょっと固めの B ヘブン3人いるっていうなんという守り方。
Waiting patiently on the other side, that being Pora, who was instrumental in the previous
おお無理やり入ってきた。もうびっくり入り。びっくりエントリーだったな今。当たった当てたね今。壁抜け判定になったね。オペレーター当たりましたね。さあセーフティーに最後のルート切っていく。まあこれギャンビットとしてはもう顔を出したくない。オペレーターいるの確定なんで。
Pull back here, hold on to the operator again. Getting into dangerous territory in terms of the round score now.
いや今のエントリーはマジでびっくりエントリーだわ。絶対予測できてないでしょあのタイミングで入るの。
Still a spy cam in place over on A. You will see Gambit actually potentially coming to pile on the pressure here. Maybe look to punish this save, but I think Izzy and Russ going to be able to hold on at least play distance enough here. But Gambit go to 11 to see what the purchase looks like here, because it's neural theft and the cosmic drive. Russ one away from the Seekers here, so an opportunity to maybe pile on the pressure if they can find a first blood here. It's going to be Gambit. Pump the brakes a little. Call attack time out. Again, I'm liking what I've seen from that previous round with that kind of coordinated hit towards A. A little better in terms of the adjustment or the adaptation, I should say, in terms of who was carrying the spike. But
yes,
it just still feels shaky. Again, that round there, the B site hit.
まあこのラウンドガンビットが取ったら金ないからね。SMB は SMB ここ倍したらもうほとんど金なくなるから。完全クレジットもこれ武器買ってあげるだろうからマジで金なくなる。ここ勝負ラウンド SMB からするとかなり。
No, and I'm with you. Again, if we look at the way this has gone, those 3 rounds on the trot that SMB pulled off clearly left an impression, even though this is obviously the answer back.
このイージーがなんとかワンピック取りたいとこよね。ワンピック狙ってますね、ベントで。イージーが。さっきはバンダルで狙おうとしてたけど、ただ星つけてますね、これ、ベントに。
Spikes all the way back. Let's see if it ever leaves there.
隠されてしまうのではないか。ワンピック狙いがバレた。さあ、これ位置変えていきたい。これトゥルコの位置、かなり警戒されるぞ、これ。さすがに上は。あんましよろしくはない。
I'm with you. Now they have lost mid control here. You can see Pora now having to pay a great deal of attention towards vents because they noted that sky flash that came through. Now going to draw them back.
お、3人で向かう。3人で向かうんですよ、これ。SMB のすごいところ、こういうとこ3人で行くっていう。さあ、2人で行く。ただここ、サイファーが抑えてる。目の前で抑えてる。これ勝てないでしょ。2-1交換された。ただ SMB まだ3人目いるんですけど、ちょっと外しちゃったね、今。外しちゃった。うわ、やられちゃった。絶望的。これは。どうなんでしょう。まあ一応次のラウンドあるっちゃあるけど。金がない。これまあイージーこれアーマーもあるんで、アーマーとオペレーターあるんで、完全にセーブしたらそこそこお金入ってくるんじゃないかな。当てた。ただここ、おお。当てた。このセーブがでかい。ここでバイパーに気づけない。わーお。ちょっとミスったか。
drops that weapon, then any kills he finds on Gambit.
Yeah, really could have done with keeping control of that. Again, this is now map point. This is best of 5 though, so keep in mind this is going to be a marathon and not a sprint for these two teams. But a well-needed and resounding wake-up call for Gambit across the board. After map 1, I think most of us were a little worried or a little maybe taken aback by these results. Izzy.
このラウンドどうなんだろう。
Still there, just it
ノアまでバンダ買うんじゃないかな。
because I want to look at the money here. Able to get a
買わない
rifle,
か。
but then
さ
look
す
at
が
the
に。
rest.
Pora struggling.
あ、でも意外とまだ金あるね。
Yeah, Pora is not looking good with money.
1、2、
Couple of light
3
armors coming out in Spectres.
3人は買える感じか。
By Izzy as well, of course. And Turco, again, it's going to be kind of running the money a little thin. And you look on the other side, the damage that was done by that op is just nothing to really note at this point. I don't think they're ever going to take that money away.
Certainly not. Ultimates-wise, gotta call the Viper's bit online, and again, the Cosmic Divide. So potentially we do see Gambit lean towards a bit more of a set piece here. We've seen them try and make use of that Cosmic Divide to zone their way into B at least. The Viper's bit is huge in terms of the post plant. The other side of the coin, not really the Seekers available, but similar in terms of the ultimates here. Nat's actually one off his neural theft as well, so almost mirror in terms of a couple of these ultimates.
We go again. Straight into this now. SMB going to be put to the test. This Gambit kind of finding a bit of themselves here, finding a bit of that magic that made them so good. That was just ripped away from them in map 1.
さあ、逆に面白いカメラ。
Defo
逆にガン見しちゃうっていうカメラですね、これ。
looking for anyone willing to fight, and I think they've conceded this mid battle, at least early round.
いや、スカイ強いな、これ。ベントがリード取れた。これ、どうする？ここでも、うかつにいけないんだよな。ベント取り返した。ただ取り返したのバレた。
No confirmation of presence, so this could almost encourage Defo to go for this, but the Seekers following Hypoc.
You give away this information at least of, well, I was going to say, somebody being here, because the majority of those stopped in their tracks. Massive Blaze not really benefiting anything on the back of that ultimate being invested.
ガンビットとしては、まだどっち攻めかは分からせない感じですね。まだ決まってないって感じだな。
There you go. There's the cosmic
B
divide going to be put up, and like I said,
B にスパイクあるから、まあ B 攻めではある。
Let's see what SMB do with this. They have some tough choices to make. Flash comes in as well, going to make this tricky.
壁越しにヒールもらって。
He'll try and make his
おー、なんか絶妙なタイミングで出た。お、しかもスパイ落ちた。さあ、これで、おー、取った SMB。
Again, almost using the cosmic divide to their advantage. Playing either side and
いや、あそこでブレイブがやられなかったのが偉い。あそこやられてたら、
it gives them a barrier. There's almost this safety net to split these angles either side of it. And
かなり厳しかったが。
I mean, we talked about the economy looking
いい中2いたんだよな。
Defo's on a specter here. Redguard too.
A がどっちかというと薄かって。
Okay, it's 11 to 12. I really thought that was going to be the one. I thought it was going to be across the line for
サイ
Gambit
ト
and
中
maybe
も
going to the
守
third,
ってる
looking
のは
towards
結構正義
buy,
だ
but
な。
no.
サイト中2人が強いよ。
SMB refusing to let this one slip, even though they've been maybe a little quieter than their more dominant maps. Defo has found great deals of room here through middle with Shados by his side. The flashes have been great in combination with a bit of that Astra utility coming in too. But SMB show presence early and then fall back a little.
さあ、ここも勝負ラウンドですね、SMB からすると。
Here, come back to the ultimate discussion.
壁を焚いて。
Showstopper, neural theft, and cosmic divide available here for SMB, and again, those two enablers we saw in the previous invested by Gambit.
カメラで A メインを確認してる感じか、おそらく。
Potential here to
まあこれベントが鍵になってくるだろうね。ベントやられちゃうとマジでまずい。
stack towards B once again on the side of Supermassive Blaze. We'll have to wait and see. Here we go.
さあ、アルティメット切っていった。ただ B3 バレた。
Good flash. Russ needs to buy time and he's doing just that.
おー、抜いてった。今見えてたのか。
How has he managed this pour in his
しかもここも抜いてった。3v5。これかなり。
Gambit.
しかもスモークしっかり焚いて、うわ、切れ目で絶妙なとこ。おー。
punching them down.
それでこれスモーク抜けてきてるんですこれ。殺しに来てるね。かなり。
Picking things up off the floor, off the pieces that remain. Defo to shut it down, and what a game from him. Truly a difference maker with Shados, I feel, especially here.
Absolutely. I mean, we talked about him being the one to lead the charge for Gambit in some of these attacking rounds where we've seen them struggle previously, at least. But a great response.
いやー、最後のスカイのウルトで勝負が決まったな。
So, yeah, take away what you want from that. It's great to see them answer back, but I'm still feeling that Supermassive Blaze are playing scarily well. Even in these rounds, that last round there comes down to, like I even said, the Seekers invested is the one defining moment of that round. That's the green light for Gambit to move quickly and decisively, which is something we don't see them do very often on the attack. If they can replicate that, if they can do that more often, find other ways to get a feel for Supermassive Blaze setup, then yes, potentially going forwards in the rest of this series, we might see them have a bit more success on attack.
Yeah, I'm loving this whole switch up. Be it the composition that came in, the sky, the astro, whatever it kind of was that facilitated Defo, I love that look coming out for them. However, we have a lot of maps in front of us now. This is kind of opening things up. Best of 5 is looking like it's going to go the distance, so we're going to go to a break, and when we're back, the desk we're talking through what's coming up and what we just saw.
They tend to get a little more proactive, right, with these small set pieces in terms of utility. And the other thing, actually having the Sky and the Sova, right, in terms of their attack, which has been a concern, they're very proactive information gatherers, right? We look towards Nats to be sat back in his cam as soon as the barrier
Gambit,
and waiting to
Sky,
receive that
Viper,
information,
Astra,
right?
Jet,
The condition is
Sova.
on, you know, the enemy team giving that away.
SMB.
So this is actually
Sage,
stylistically
Raze,
a very different approach to
Killjoy,
Gambit. So I'm excited to see how that fares
Sky,
against
Astra.
Supermassive Blaze here.
Well, we're going to find out any second. Now, SMB will be coming into this one.
キルジョイ入れてきて
Maybe
るな。
pick up from where map 1 was, but of course Gambit gonna just ignore
Ora,
that
motomoto
ever
Killjoy だったわ。
happened if
この後でも。
possible. And Gambit will be on the attacking side, and SMB will be on the defensive
そうだっけ？
side, and at the very
忘れた。
beginning, Gambit taking their time, but Turco's not far away from this. He's not leaving it completely unattended. It's not just a haphazard wall, but they just about evade each other. And look at the timing on this. Redgar has managed to slip all the way
今
up
回
long.
は
And
B、
yes, the
ウィン
rotation's
ドウ
coming in, but
1
right
で
now,
守って
look
る
at the。timing.
もう後ろ入ってるんです。これただ微妙に見えない。
Redgar, I don't think he's gonna be able to see. No, and Izzy is
おー、気づけ
completely
なかっ
caught off guard. Brave now shows his hand, but it's
た。
not
おー、
great work there.
ちょっとエイム荒ぶったが。
Impact already into this
Actually,
round.
Chronicle coming across from showers here.
2人は確定した。
Nearly doing a lot of damage to Pora, but he'll be able to slip through at least for the time being. Russ alongside him, and actually this spawn rotation might get cut off as well, Lauren. You see Turco very late to the party, and he does.
There it is. Yeah, Shados caught it. Great point there. And now it is just the two, Russ and Pora. Whew, not an easy place to play back in from. Still a flash for Shados too. So as soon as contact's made, he could always pop that out if they feel they need it. Look how much they've still got left in the tank after that freebie walk up. They did
これはもう
find
時間ないね。
Chronicle, but it's that final hurdle that will be that step too far. A little bit more damage, but it does not matter. Nats is there. And Gambit off to a great beginning. And that walk up long, that's so much freedom.
And again, just the sound cues alone, no information at all on the
ブレイ
side
ブが
of
若干もったいなか
Supermassive
ったわ。
Blaze received on
あ
a
そこ
shot.
ウィンドウ維
Just
持
the
できてれ
sound
ば
cues Chronicle trying to deal with that wall
まだあった。
kept that setup for the time being. There was only one player to really hold down the fort on B, and like you said, Redgar initially able to slip through undetected as Brave held onto Hooker. I can't help but feel if he's playing
今
back
回
spawn there, it's a
SMB は
lot safer. You know, Izzy doesn't
5
get
人
caught
で
out on that rotation, but
詰めんのかなこれミッド。
well
詰め
played
そう
by
だな。
Gambit. Supermassive Blaze now stacked up inside Hooker. Looking to get a little aggressive here. They will stack up and play.
もうこんだけ大会やってたら多
Potential for a weapon upgrade.
分詰めてくるだろうなっていう風に読めるよね。ある程度。5人プッシュ。もう50%ぐらいの確率あるよね。
Not pretty. Defo's had to fall back.
おー、強い
Away, Brave finds
ブレイブ
Defo.。
さあ、4v3。
And look at the
そ
positioning.
して武器も回収されつつ、されるんじゃない？
What an out of sorts round. Shados fell away, still got his flash if he needs
さあ、
it.
これでここ武器拾って帰っていく。
Just been grabbed by Nats.
帰っていく B ロン。
Redgar has found room. He's going to confirm that A is clear. Come over this way. Ferry that spike on in. Get that plant down, and let's get this round maybe back on track because this has gone so out of
Gets all the way
kilter.
to heaven actually, and that's huge for Gambit. Okay, if he's able to at least contest one of these points of
さあ、こ
re-entry
のアストラが鍵ですね、攻めの。
I'm worried actually. Shados is way
ここが鍵。
split.
どうする？これでも気づけてない。
Miles away from
He's gonna
this.
come around
この上に
now.
アストラいるなんて思わないよな。
Nats is in trouble. I want to see what Redguard does. When do you strike on
いや、思わない、思わない。
Okay, that's it. Great timing. Really held his nerve. I was a bit worried he might leave it
一
too
番いい
late
動
and
き。
maybe Nats could have been pressured, but no. The
Great
timing
stuff.
was really well handled. Shados comes back around in time, and that could have fallen apart. You could see the seams being pulled at a little bit here by SMB, and you could see it almost
ちょっとクリアリング甘かったが、
but no.
ヘブンの。
It's costly.
あれ、
Sure,
武器
it's a
持って
good
れば
round for SMB in that regard, but the round will be Gambit's unless something
強い。
unthinkable
右見えたぞ
happens now.
おう
We got a consolation nonetheless, but I gotta say it again, another shaky anti-eco from Gambit and Supermassive Blaze's ability to stack up and just play trades on classics. Again, it highlights really just how diligent you have to be when you spread this thin in a default, which we know Gambit do.
まあ A 完全に開けちゃってたん
These
で、
are the
この
sorts of rounds where it becomes very concerning.
CT
A team
もしくは
can
ヘブン
swing
展
out
開
like
は
that.
一応
Just finding the one, a
警戒しとく
1-for-1
べきで
trade,
した
the weapon upgrade, the pressure towards Fountain in itself, and luckily it's Redgar really that's able to find space elsewhere.
あそこを殺してたらもうほぼ勝ちみたいなもんだしね。
Forces the repurchase here, the full repurchase actually on the side of Gambit. So a lot to play for here in round 3, Lauren.
Yeah, the economy's certainly done no spiraling for either side. And Izzy's got to be careful now. Glass
Ah,
cannon
Gambit
at
も
this
結
point,
構
and
武器
Power's
買って
got
る
his
ラウ
back
ンド
for
で
a
すこれ。
good pick up there towards Defo.
た
And this
だ
is the shutdown that they needed. Isolated fights, untradeable kills with the
止まって
power
いく。
of
二人で
the
止めていく。
bringing on these two that he's picked up. And the site's well under control. These last two players, Redgar and Chronicle, fantastic, sure, but have no step towards the site. Spike is out of hand for now. Not a huge problem, unless they find quick success and they can't capitalize and springboard off the back of it.
これはギャンビットからすると絶望的ですね。
Yeah, actually, yeah, Brave will
Standing.
be there to greet the unsuspecting Redgar and Chronicle now.
あそこのウィンドウウェアのあの位置も
1v5, 40 seconds left. What do you
最
reckon?
初からあそこ入ってるっていうのは別にそんな強くないん
How
で
you
すけ
feeling
ど、
about this one?
こういう人数少なくなってスキル使えなくなった
Light armor? Is that
状
a
態だったあ
consideration
そこの位
for
置は左もクリアングしないといけないから強い。
Well, it's this position he's in,
Yeah.
Hypok. It's the back shower hold. Now, it's quite infamous. Now, you may say for saves, sure, but it's 100% just chilling right now. Nothing's going to happen from this one, but we can kind of talk then. The difference makers in this, I felt like those first...
いや、ポーラの
I
フィ
won't
ジ
say
カルが
three
出たな、
kills,
この
sure,
ラウンド
but
は。
even just the first bit of impact
10
between
seconds left.
Izzy and Pora was just almost unanswerable. Like, how are you meant to trade back into that at that point? They've gained no ground towards the site. They weren't able to really do much beyond that. There were such good kills in such critical areas. At that point, you've kind of lost all impact.
Let's see, really, if Gambit addressed this, because again, it's one word I pick out from what you said, and it's untradeable, right? Without this kind of, I guess, synergy, that again here the spacing's just off.
あ、離席テキス
The
ト
Pora gets gifted
確かに。
two 1v1s
忘れてた。
from a position that you'd say is one and done, right? Again, you could argue the only thing really that changes that is his turret, but he's actually taking the fight ahead of contact there. Circle will wall off showers here. The Owl Drone will spot him out for good measure, but orb retrieved. Yeah, actually here, Defo with the hero rifle. See if he can actually find something on the way forward for Gambit.
おー、クラシックで抜いてった。しかもポーラ HP ない。これはもう引かざるを得ないでしょ。ヒールもらいに行くしかない。
This is
いや、
really,
ここ
really
落としたくないから
scary.
な。相手エコだしな。
Now Russ has done
クラシックで抜いていったぞ。
controlled enough for Chronicle. Gonna play out well from showers now. The site is looking very
Brave,
much in
強い。
control. Spike yet to go down and the TP taken. That's gonna be a runaway.
ポーラはヒールもらえず
Nets getting their
死んでしまった。
hell out of there
ヒー
as
ル
much
役
as
は。
he can. Redgar looking to lurk, but he can't
さあ、
catch
リド
anyone
ガー
on the
が
way out. So
こ
his
れ瀕
position
死だけ
now
ど
feeling a
武器
little
拾
out
っ
of
ちゃって
sorts
る
and。Nats is on an island to an extent. He has to still find value for this.
しかもバイパーズビッ
They
ト。
are
一
in a
緒に
3v3 and
こ
there's
れ
that
は
big value. There it is. Ult comes on and
ナッツ
suddenly
次第ですね。これナッツがなんかの表紙で、この壁抜きとかもらったら、壁抜きじゃないや、木抜きとかもらったら
Good
終
drop
わり
in.
ますね、これ。
Now he has some reinforcements here, but is he clearing through sight?
フリーに。
Can Gambit hold on here in this post plant?
どこに隠れてるんですか。
Clutching at straws.
おー、抜いた。
Already made the first huge kill coming in towards Nats. Now the ult's gonna go down. Redgar on the flank can't make it work. It's on towards Defo.
おー、強い、デオ。
Izzy.
That's what you want to see from the man. Yes, there's been questions, but comes up huge there in a 1v2. Close out around the, you got to say, Supermassive Blaze Gifted on a platter. Few slip-ups in the early round and Gambit there to punish. And a great rotation by Nats, actually. Yes, he gets found initially in that Viper's Pit drops, but... huge
まあこのゲーム全然
round, actually.
初段外しちゃったらクラシックに打ち負けるのあるからね。クラシック初段入れれたらやりくりでも。
In the tank for Supermassive Blaze after this purchase. Defo now actually with the operator online. If here actually a little bit of a switch up in terms of the tempo, at least for these early rounds. If you can find some picks
そ
for
こ
this
シャワーのあの位置は引ける場所じゃないからな。
Have to wait and see. All going up early enough here. No one fully committed up long. Now noting 2 on the other side. Nats is actually creeping up towards A as well. So pressure being felt across the map here. Defo is still aggressing on this. Not sitting back at all. Ross still has a flash as well, keep in mind. Slow comes in. Gonna kind of set Russ into that.
ここで詰める。
Found Nats. This is if anything gonna spur Defo on. He's so desperate
すげえ
for
な。
this, but they're just not giving him this.
しかも焦って離婚打っちゃったな。変なと
Creeps
こ
any
に。
closer. This is where it opens up that possibility for
いや、あ
Russ.
の位置まで取っとくのはあんま強くないな。そう考えると。あそこを詰めて、
Seekers go in. This forces the hand now.
それがすげえな。なんだ。タイミングよく出てきたら終わりだからな。
clean peek here with 3 players.
オペレーター割
The
れ
other
た。
side of this as well. Yeah, Gambit have to
テレポート、2テレ
reconsider
ポー
this
ト。
approach.
ただ、スパイクはまだ B 側にあるっていう。
Actually,
どうするこれ。
the lockdown. Look
Yeah,
at that
good.
preemptive lockdown on the back of the Cosmic.
時間ないぞ。
Thrown up. That's
で、ロックダウンでさらに時間がない。
it's going to eat up so much of this round.
Yeah, this
time すぎる。
TP, look, the desk talked about it, how much this is going to
さあ、
get
これ。
utilized throughout this game from, I'm imagining
どう
both
する
sides, but
これ
now
も
they're down to
もう
10
セーブしかない
seconds.
って感じ
I don't
か。
think they get here. I don't think there's
わお
I。mean, just to make sure, I guess. But yeah, this is
も
the
う、
clock
これは
will
もうい
decide
けないっ
this
ていう
one.
風に判断したんだ。
That's something we've talked about previously. Again, these late round hits, one kill or one, you know,
ヒルジョイのウルトで終わっちまった。
can ultimately decide the outcome. So
ヒルジョイのウルトで終わっちまったもん、完全に今の
kind
だ
of the victims of their own approach there, Gambit. Important to note, again, Supermassive Blaze bodies in the right place at the right time to stop that push coming through on B, and it's effectively a 3v3
神
on
ア
long
ルティメッ
there,
トだった
Lauren.
の。
And Gambit just don't like what they see.
no, nothing of what was on the other side was enticing them at all. There was no easy way through. There was no easy picks either. Nothing was being presented, everything calculated, and this is the first try towards Showers.
お
Known for his
ー、犬出し
presence here
て
on the defensive、
オペレー
side,
ター
but
あそこまで
no
出
slouch
てき
here
たのね。
either. Is he
まあ、
gonna
ジェット
feel
だ
the
からいけるよ
brunt
な。
of this? And Shadow's
ジェ
gonna
ット
pick up
強い
where
と
he
ころで。
leaves off.
攻めジェットここ
Work a
結構
little
強い
further
と思うんだよ
forward. Pora's gonna have to fill
な。
that
守り
gap
もまあ
here.
強いけど。
Timing's gonna be a
さあ、こう飛び出していっ
factor.
た
Shados
け
has
ど
got it as soon as Pora tried to walk through. These are 2 huge impact frags coming
ギャン
through.
ブル
As
です
Nats
ね、
is
今
gonna
の。
try and take that space towards sight.
ただワンピックすでに取られてるんで、あそこのギャンブル
Spot
は
a little defo, but there's a player closer.
点
It
作
being
り
Nats, it is now secured. Sight is
だと思え
theirs.
ばありです。
They will get a comfortable plant as well.
Spike planted.
Turco and Brave left to try and recover something here, but in a 2v5, a solid post plant hold from Gambit. Well, not they even giving it
あ、
away.
もうリテイクはかなり絶望的だところ。
Allows Brave to aggress, but
おー、
Shadows
頭当たったけど。
responds. Turco with a
ハン
response
ダルが勝っ
actually.
てたと。
Still potential to do some damage here to Gambit and their
1v3。
economy.
これ行くのか
The Ultra and the late round usage there of
お
a
ー、絶望
huge
的。
piece of utility actually, and Nats will come through and punish down the other side. Gambit 4-2 ahead now, and this is something we talked about just before we came into this map when we were talking about this switch up on Viper. Nats being the one to lead the
センチネルは
charge in
ヨー
some
ロ
of
ッパじゃない
these
です。
slow, methodical rounds, Lauren, is a stark contrast to what we see him on Cypher, right?
Should I play some
まあ今のはポーラがめ
Yeah,
っちゃ
and
詰める
it's
っていうよりは、
incredible to see versatility not
多分
just
一
in
人
agent
ピッ
pool,
クされたんで、
but
こ
in
こ
play, right? It's
強気に出て、
that
まあ
ability
そ
to
の
switch into that more kind of
人数
attempted or
不利を取られたところでエリア有利を
aggressive play, leading some part of
取るような
this.
ギャンブルをしたんでしょう。
Exactly. Yeah, he's nuts at clutching, but then also look at the amount of impact he can potentially have when he is first man
あそこ
forward
で
to an
敵が
extent, or
も
a
し
little
待って
bit
なか
more
ったら
on his own,
人数が
still
不利で
creating
も
that space for the rest of the collective.
そんなに
It's
形
very
勢不利じゃなくなる
impressive
というか
to see a
攻める場所は分かってくる。
19-year-old young gun coming into this with so much value to how he plays, but no freebies at the beginning this time. We saw a couple of exchanges early on towards Showers, favouring, we saw Gambit previous, but it's been a back and forth affair. But for now,
デフォー
still
が
being
行く。
controlled by that wall. Defo wants it. Nothing to find though. Still being played behind that try box.
さあそこ出てこいと。出てきた。
Defo, there it is. Yeah, big pick there. Finds it again. SMB
ベレー
being
タ強い
worked
ぞ
down and
攻
worked
め。
away at very early
やっぱ
on.
大会とか、 このレベル、
I've got to draw a player in rotation. I
Little bit
think
too in.
Supermassive Blaze anticipating Gambit flipping towards B on the back of that first blood, but so they will force the issue here. Utility invested. But no push through just yet.
さあ、ここかなり警戒してるっぽい。
To dig out. He's good
お
for
ー、1キルしかいなかった。
I really thought there could have been a follow-up to that as well. Nats, still, look at this guy go. As soon as you put him towards the front, he is happy to lead the charge, happy to be the first man forward. And now Russ and Brave, where's Brave in this? Oh, they're both CT. Spike going down, I don't think they can deny this. Site control has been pretty much completely gained. You can see Brave having to clear through that CT hole just in case someone had made it that far forward. Every angle could contain a potential threat, and there's two around this corner. Nats to one side, Chronicle to the other. Chronicle gonna find that.
Okay. Yeah.
センチネルズはね、
As Russ.
アメリカの
Now, well,
チームなんですよ。
options looking dire.
Yeah, one with not even a possibility.
来年の大会ではもちろん上がってます。
Take
セン
some
チ
of
ネル
these
ズは。
weapons away, hoping that somebody will push forward towards pipes. Hit that TP rotate. And again, I'm glad Lothar brought up. I know you and I discussed this at length last time we saw Gambit play on bind and their attacks and how kind of how much it hinges without the sage in this comp. There's so many further steps, right, to ensure that you can get this plant on A comfortably. Yes,
攻めオペレーターがいるとね、うかつに顔出せないっていうのが
about clearing out all of these spots. So
強い部分ではある。
seemingly
ただ
getting、those two kills early enough, again ahead of the rotation here.
エントリー性能はやっぱ落ちるんで、
20 to 30
チームとし
seconds
て。
before Gambit actually push on through. Now that's a little ahead of the curve in terms of the way we'd expect Gambit to play out rounds. It's interesting to see that adjustment here. I'd love to see really if Supermassive Blaze were able to pick up on that, because that's a very different aspect in terms of their play style.
ガンガン勝負仕掛けてくる相手とかには有効ですよね。やっぱ
Gambit
攻め
wants
オ
to
ペレーター。
re-explore this. Red Guard's just no one ever plays it, boys, and Defo just managed to walk up last time, but actually no one is directly holding this time. Of course, we do have them down on the sheriffs, the rifle that
これなんだけど、
remains
このラスズだけは
actually on the site itself, so could have some damage here if they're not careful about it. Flash comes in.
いい4守りですね、これ。
Is he still towards the backside of elbow?
思い切った守り方がね、
Patience
強いところですよね、これ。
in droves
SMB を。
for Gambit. No big rush.
もう
here,
A
but
は入れちゃおう
again,
と。
there is a
で
time
B を
bonus.
しっかり
You
持っ
do
て、
have
じゃあ
to
A
kind
来
of
た
play
ら
that fine
リテイ
balance.
ク
You
にしよ
don't
う
want to
と。
go in late towards a stack potentially, which we know that SMB do like to run.
ちなみにアラームポ
About
ッ
this
ト、
time is
これ見えてんのかな？
again where Gambit going to lean one way or the other. Seeker's invested on B actually, and on the back of that, immediately Gambit try and push forward onto A. Pora got it all to do now. He's actually going to wrap towards
Pora
Max
が
here.
マーク石が。
Down. And only one rifle on the way back in here, so Supermassive Blaze trying to find something on B, and Gambit ultimately able to pivot away from that stack perfectly. Turco and Izzy, sorry. See if they can get anything done here. Chronicle will fall. And they got the res as
こ
well
こ
here. This is
蘇生使
interesting.
っていく。
Here we go. Yeah, ult's coming. Oh, Izzy! Nats!
Oh
You're
my
so
God.
good at this game. You are so good at this game. Every little bit of a threat that was starting to build. Every potential
まあちょっ
opportunity
と
that
今
SMB
シェリフ
might have just found, he just
武器を
completely undid.
味方の武器を拾ったから
The
シェリフを
res
落として
came in,
あげようっ
they had
て
the
してる
rifle
時
coming
に
out, the ult came online.
来た感じだね。
Three big things that could have maybe turned that retake around. And his presence is just unreal. Look at the timing on this as well. So there's that ultimate potentially going down, but he instantly follows up towards Turco and then even denies Russ. You could not ask for a better player to have on
You know
this
what, as
side
well,
right
I'm going
now.
to shout out Lothar as well, because one of the things he picked up that, you know, some people may think trivial, but Nat's picking up that poison orb time and time again and just repositioning it to give himself the opportunity to make plays like that is huge for Gambit, especially in some of these, you know, the transition from initial execute towards post plant. It's minute things like that that make Nats absolutely deadly.
And look, this is the Gambit that scares the life out of people. And that's the player, the baby-faced killer. Look at him. So cool under pressure
Again, the
too.
first
おお、
blood.
ちょっと
Finds value. And
アルティメット使うのかなと思ったけど、使ったら終わってたな。
Now he's created a gap. Again, Turco going to be feeling the heat right now. Out on an island on B, but Spike not committed either way. No surprises here. 60 seconds left for Gambit.
D
But look
4
what they
の
can do here, Hypok, right?
オペ
They
レー
get
タ
the
ーが
pick, they show a
す
little
ごい
bit of
圧
presence
力になっ
towards
て
the
る
other
ね。
side, and then they suddenly dismantle what could have been, you know, maybe
Hey.
it was 3 players towards A.
Yeah.
Now they're going to hit that rotation. Actually, it's a gamble stack from SMB, though.
お
They're going to
オ
put
ペレーター
3
交換した
players towards this B site.
FO B, the first in here
I
at
mean,
least.
they-
The flashes come through. Look at
Oh!
that force.
走り打ちやん。
Shut down. Brave will respond, but the bodies stack up.
Good
And
trades.
actually,
さあ、いい感じのトレードだよ。ここでもう1キル。
Yeah, Russ is still. Ooh, he's playing a very dangerous game here. One on long, one
お、
close, one
2
towards
キル
Zuka. He。knows
場所
what
が
the
上がった。
other two
いや
are.
ー、抜かれたか、
Not
今。
able to do anything about it, but Pora gets the call. He now knows what's in
さら
front,
に
but now he can't even see it. Nats is still alive. The man is an absolute legend at this point.
これ裏バレてんの
Red
か
guard by his side. What does
This is
Pora
tough.
do? Touted as one of the best. This guy, but I don't know what you could achieve from this.
お当たりそうだけど。
It's connecting on that second. But Nats just playing. I mean, he can't jump out this window. He's going to have full vision
Sorry?
here.
Here we
Yeah.
go. Gotta do
Slammed
it. Gotta bite the bullet, and down he goes. Nats again. I can't sing this guy's praises enough. He'll always be the supporting factor here for them.
Credit where credit is due. Supermassive Blaze actually anticipate exactly what Gambit are going to do on the back of that first blood. They drift across.
Yes.
They know that Gambit are going to wait. They're going to stall for that 20 to 25 seconds to allow that paranoia to build, right? Which is where Gambit looks so deadly. They create a gap and actually they do the complete opposite to what you're expecting. But Supermassive Blaze actually have the read on that. But again, it comes down to, well, a 2-for-2 trade initially. Russ, a valiant attempt, but Gambit's still able to break through.
Deploying drone.
おお。
Now I wonder if they go for a
割とこれ
quick
早め
towards
に
A.
行くんじゃないか
Three players, or at least 2.
おお。
The sky there as well.
お、
as
抜いた
the
抜いた。
wall, and Chronicle finds Brave completely unawares. And now Gambit have just free reign. Yes, there is still one player here, it is Pora, but look at the purchase. It's a sheriff. It's not the dream to work with.
Spike planted.
And he's, yeah, mainly maintaining a little bit of control, but that's been ripped away. Nats just strides into his domain. This is his site, even on the attack, man. You can't take it away from him. And Defo just wants in, just wants to get rid of
Right.
them. Just funneling them forward. Nats again, just lingering on the edge
Oh.
of this. Does get caught up by Izzy this time, but Redgar has his back. So this is looking like 8 is coming on that scoreline.
And I said, Supermassive Blaze really feeling the pressure now. Russ again left to try and do some damage, but Redgar there to clean him up. And a 6-round deficit for Supermassive Blaze here. And let me just say, this is Gambit on the attack. I was talking about a little bit of an adjustment here with this composition, and Nats being the one to
ガンビットの攻めが
maybe
強
be
い
a
な。
little more aggressive. I'm starting to get worried. I really am, because Gambit's defense on this in recent performances has been rock solid, Lauren.
It has been. And look, we question Gambit's attack on certain maps in certain compositions. You can see it's quite tricky against teams like SMB. We saw it on map 1. It proofs in the pudding. But this is the other look to Gambit. This is the
SMB は
look
ここを取りたいだろう
that's
ね。
terrifying.
とにかく。
And is it a little dependent on Nats? Maybe. Has he mostly delivered? Yes. So at this point we have to wait and see how it
まあ、ただ
continues
ここ
forward.
取っていきたい
The flash, the
けど
aggression, but there was a counter flash initially.
あんまり浮かずに出れないんよ
It's
ね。
trickier to commit to this,
オ
but
ペレーター
Turco's
があ
got
るか
himself in
ら。
the corner. They're slowly creeping up long. They haven't seen a position like this yet.
お、
Turco
トゥルコの位
is
置が
unnoted here so far.
これどうなるどうなるどうな
Bolt
る
comes down,
です
barrel
よね。
shows he gets it,
しか
but
も
Chronicle
場所確定した
finds Russ.
2キル目
Unbelievable.
あ
He's actually followed up towards Turco.
Massive.
This is unbelievable stuff. Gambit just don't seem like they can lose in some of these scenarios, even though SMB are trying to counter this.
Again, though, it's all a ruse. Gambit stacked up. Two
A1
short, one
確
showers.
定している
Chronicle
状
will
態で
rejoin them. I think a little bit of a misread here. I think they're maybe considering they baited out this rotation once again, but Supermassive Blaze cannot pull the wall over their eyes.
これまだ全然シャワーで耐えれたら全然ある。このシャワーのアストラを殺せれば
The showers as
Yeah,
well.
I
Does he
don't
turn
know.
his back here?
お
That's the question. Defo now
おい
keeps the game. Poor
ただこのアストラ気づけないかも
There's the lockdown.
あ
Spike now in
シャワーいる
trouble. Brave
シャワーいるぞ
Nats. Red
お
the timing. It has to be perfect.
逃
It
げ
has
た
to be everything he dreams of. He can at least deny the
下押し切った
before he stays alive. Great
ラスト
play
瀕死
now
の
1v2.
オペレーターしかも
A classic.
HP30
Look at Izzy.
And an op, but he's got
Look
the
at Izzy.
spike. And you're right.
Wow.
But he does have a judge, and
もうこれは
now he's got himself back, tucked to the back of sight, lurking around. Look at this
これは終わった
absolute beast in the depths, waiting, and Chronicle has nothing to do but
くれ
die.
た。
And
ありが
there
と
it
う。
is, SMB, finally. Get a bit of an answer back.
So there's a chance there that Pora gets caught out as well. Plays his life perfectly and actually finds a kill. Actually towards shot. I'm not even sure who it was that fell at that point, but again, Supermassive Blaze just not buying anything Gambit are trying to sell. And even though Gambit, they find 2 kills to open that. Yes, it's a 2-for-1 trade, but again, you argue at that point, it feels a little uncomfortable to just leave 2 players, right, to hold down
あ、
A.
トゥルコ、これ味方に武器買ってもらって自分はスローブ買った方がいいんじゃないか？
They recover that round.
なんでスローブ1個のままなんだ？
Go again. Seeker's coming in. It's going to allow that rotation to come in now, but look at the timing on this. They're going to have to still try and control some of this side. Brave is going to be put to task.
おお、ここ倒してきた。ここのピーク。OB3。ここでやられたらまずい。ちょっともったいないか？人数有利だったから。
Huge kills. As now the spike could be potentially planted. Bear in mind it is still in the hands of Shadows himself, so would have to fall away from the U-Haul control, and they just pause for a second. Chronicle tried to capitalize towards CT, but it's Russ
これはかなり
who's going to find that frag, and now you see that consideration. That
Easy が待ってるんです、ここ。
Easy this time, better equipped as well. Up to hand, TP heard. It's all his waiting.
おお、
Patiently, no.
ちょっと欲張ったな。
Rips off his face. He's just diving in towards the site. He's seen another. Here's the flash. He knows they're both CT. This could be
お、見えた見えた。
another.
いや、勝っちゃう。おお。
Insane recovery there. Finds the third. And will leave the scoreline 9-3. Again, I got to credit Supermassive Blaze. Towards the end of that round, they picked up on exactly what was lacking on A, and they were fighting for showers. They weren't allowing them to come through and find those plants on A for free. Love that adjustment there, but Gambit, man, they're looking deadly. They're looking warmed up now.
ちょっとイージーが欲張ったな。
Just a total contrast to what we
あ
saw
そこ。
on map 1. Dare I say map
しかも今微妙にね、体見えたんだよな、入ってくるやつ。
way more control, way more
で、あ
refined.
とはもう1の有利で
A。little bit of a pace change really suits them.
And you know what? If they can slip between these 2 looks, I will love this as just a concept of what a roster can do. If they can kind of shift gears, not all the time, but when required, you know, maybe they feel more comfortable in one look, but then again, maybe when you face a certain team with a certain approach, you can slip into that different style. I'd love to see that. Now, we do see the switcheroo, right? So, coming back into this, 9-3, though, scoreline-wise, that's quite a commanding score. And in decent fashion, these weren't just, you know, oh, weird rounds here and there. That was actually a huge run of them. Look at the chunk of it in the buy rounds. 5 on the trot there coming in for Gambit. They've got to be happy with that. But SMB, a fiery team, not known to really bow down from a fight. They do need to come back in with this pistol, though. If that goes Gambit's way, that is a long way back for SMB.
Right there.
Yeah, what the approach Supermassive Blaze is going to be. A little bit the Astro utility spread, at least at the start of the round here. Chronicle and Defo hold on to A, but Supermassive Blaze leaning heavily towards B right now. A turret actually watching that short push as well. Flash going to give away some information early on by Shados. And utility noted as well on the other side of it. Now only 1 noted on the back of the Trailblazer. Actually, in response here, Nats take a little peek outside, see what's there. Just gonna get swept actually. Russ and Brave find kills on the way in. Go will respond for 1 before.
Redgar. Yeah, only so much can be achieved through that. You're down to Defo and Chronicle on the other side trying to play back through. This is a site controlled by SMB. A deep push towards CT. Catches off Chronicle and his story is stopped pretty short. Defo dives on in, but a whole lot of players looking his way. It's not going to go so well as Turco's going to find him, and SMB do exactly as required of them. They've got that pistol, and they've got it with 4 alive.
Big round here again. It got to close this gap, and in my eyes, it's the early rounds that are the most valuable.
ここファーストラウンド取れたのはでかい。これ取れてないと10対3になっちゃうから。
Again, making use of some of these lesser buys as well, whilst the economy's
なんなら11対3までいっちゃうからな。
Turco actually going to carry a ghost through here. Interesting decision whether or not that's to try and get the operator on. I would see if Izzy actually lean towards that on the attack. Nat's trying to
お
walk
ー、溶けた。
for actually the setup from Supermassive Plays. It's the nano swarm of all things to draw first blood. But Defo's found some space here. Turret gonna slow things down a little bit, and the smoke slightly off actually. They tried to smoke it off there to progress further, but they can't now. They have to retreat.
This one in. Izzy's got Shados. Spike being ferried towards site. The final 3 towards CT. Redguard, Defo, and Chronicle. Slow goes in, gonna limit progress again. Just being a nuisance as SMB just set up the firing squad on the other side. That's one. Looking for a second. Flash goes in, and Russ. Oh, actually, I quite like that rifle back if you don't mind. So Defo knows he's got more coming his way, and only so many options to do anything about it. So there is rifle, gets filtered back through, no problems. Toko's gonna get that. And we have SMB building back in.
Opportunity here at the bonus as well. Potentially win this, and I mean, see the possibility to bring it within 2 rounds, just like that. Gambit again leaning towards 3 on B side, 2 on A.
SMB ハーフバイですね。
Again, they haven't been proactive here on the back of not any, no presence being shown by Blaze. See here if they look to push out a little deeper. As again, early on, this pressure shown towards hookup. And it's Nats with a judge inside.
ジャッジがこれ。ただ、入ってる。敵が。
Good, we've seen the value
ジャ
of
ッ
this.
ジがここで
Timing's everything.
前に
Wait, does he thread the needle? Oh.
後ろもいるんですこれ。ただ倒した。
He
倒した
still
な。
got Izzy, but Brave was behind him, and the timing on this was just so baffling.
Oh, Gambit give themselves a man advantage in this round.
You take those, I guess, with that weaponry.
4対3。
Indeed, but 2 Spectres of Vandal still an option for Russ to do more damage here, but he's going to shut down by Shados of all people.
ちょっと SMB 調子悪くなってきたか
Aura and Brave a little bit split, a little bit disconnected. He'll be able to retrieve that weapon. Still, a straight 2v2 here.
この位置。まあ分かってれば余裕な位置なんだけど。
Oh, no.
おお、頭当たったけど。
The Spectre's not kind sometimes. It truly
ほら、
is.
吸い込まれた。
Aura, such a good aimer, but not going to get a chance for a Shados with a good catch there in the end. And it is Gambit recovering, and I got a little nervous there when I saw Nats just kind of lingering around. But again, there was a little bit more damage that could have been done, but it is the way it goes. So now 10-5, SMB get to get themselves on that perfect purchase. And Gambit now get a taste of what SMB can bring in at least the full buy round. That's where things get interesting, and Redguard's still being punished on the money, man. He's kind of sitting down right now on the Guardian still, so that's going to be a little rough to handle. Maybe he's got a method to the madness, but at this point, I look to SMB as to how they want to approach this here.
Yeah, and things to note out, actually, again, same setup, and it's 5 members of Supermassive Blaze. They still want to break through this B hold, Lauren. This time, actually, Redguard falls away.
おお、速攻もう。ウィンドウ倒
Yeah,
しちゃっ
that's
た
a。huge pick towards CT, but they don't expect Shados.
Well,
Nats
that-
take the TP, but there's still Nats.
Nats
And Nats
が
refuses to
止め
let
る。
this one go. This is, you know what, you thought A was his site? No. He's actually moved. He's upgraded. Bigger place, nicer, nicer views. Why not? Goes for that B site, and he's still here, and they're still scared of him. They can't break through. They can't do anything about this. This round looks like it's all but wrapped up. That first pick that came towards Redguard, it looked like the floodgates had opened.
ここもナ
But
ッ
there
ツ
will
が
always be Nats. He doesn't like to share. He doesn't want to share. The babyface killer waits
こ
patiently
れ
for
は見えて
Brave
る
on
か
the other
見えて
side.
ないね。
Anyone who dares to walk through, you got maybe the jiggle peek from the site. Barrel shows it's Nats again. That's going to be just Nats dominating this round. Finally taken down by Turco, but the impact has been done.
蘇生あるけど。
Considering the Reds are now
おお、脱いでったワンタップ。
Shados.
今の何見えんかったけど、ほとんど。
30 seconds left. This rotation's got to come through. Shados.
トゥルコはなんかやっぱ、
From Defo right now. Defo able to slip away.
一人残った時わからんね。
Player's life here.
マジで。
Give them a fighting chance on this retake.
こいつだけは。
No utility.
こいつだけというか、こいつはマジで。
2 flashes for Russ.
ここの犬強いぞ、しかし。
And Russ could be in
この犬は
He's
きつい
gonna chance to use it. Defo
No
swings before,
way.
and now Russ is in danger. Shados and Defo, the pacing, they just switched it up on them. SMB were waiting to maybe dictate the tone of this, but no, it's not going to happen. And they had to step up after Nats just put in such
少人数戦の犬が一番最強このゲームで。
That's actually great. And we talked about this, right? In terms of Nat's control of Hooker on this Viper, and it's a big switch up. We talked about it on attack, him being the first point of contact. Him being the first point of contact on defense as well. We've seen these nice little set pieces on the back of Shados' flash, in Hooker particularly, but this time around, he's just, you cannot pass him. He's absolutely insane. We have a little bit of a switch up here. It's Defo and Chronicle now switched over towards B. So Gambit with a great read here, because look at it from Blaze.
Oh, stack B, no stop? No. Stack A, put Nats in the right place. It's just going to fall away from Shout now. There's Izzy closing the gap, though. Great work from Izzy to take that space. Nat's going to invest the ult towards this one, but he's still under threat.
So Nats no
you can see Izzy just firing in, see if he can maybe catch something for this, and surrounded. Nats has players left, players right. He's got support from Heaven, he's got support from CT, but he knows he's in.
左から来ることはないからここ見てればほぼ無敵よね。位置的には。
Perfect play the one way as well. Brave's not got a chance in hell. Russ has to brave the ultimate, and Nats is waiting like a shark in the depths. He's just not going to let them pass. As now Pora, as soon as they tried to take steps towards the site, there was just a wall waiting for them on the other side.
That's now actually, yeah, we'll spot Pora there. Pora will as well, but nothing but a sheriff. A big ask of him. And Gambit put themselves on map point here. 12-5 the scoreline on Bind.
Match point.
And that's on the back of
smiles on the faces,
seemingly
man.
free first blood, right? The double satchel up,
yes.
Clean engagement with the judge in lamps. The response immediately, Nats denies all of that space, all of that control of front sight towards default with the Viper Spear. At that point, Supermassive Blaze have to respect it, they have to freeze. And then they're suffocated into lamps. Defo, man. Again, to have the balls to peek a judge in lamps the way he did on the back of the recon bolt, fair play.
Okay, speaking of Defo, it's time to go again. 10 HP gets out just. 4 players working their way up. They still want to go at this. Chronicle's there. Redgar is there. Players starting to pour through from Hookah as well. Pora's taking that presence. There are so many players up on long though. Do they still commit to this? It's Nats just on his own towards A at the moment, taking the TP. He's come across. Gambit are all in towards this right now. They're playing here as well. Nats starting to close the gap. It's Pora who's waiting on the other side. Playing up on long. The spam comes in. Redgar's got one. That's Pora. Now all eyes turn towards long.
さあ、ラスズがこれ後ろ。
Man advantage now for Gambit. Another there. Defo finds one. Turco responds.
トルコがここに切る。
Makes this doable here for Supermassive Blaze again.
ナッツはこれ B メインから裏取る感じか。いや、これ回って CT まで回るって感じか。
Is he baiting the TP sound?
Oh my god.
いや、これ
TP
する。
If they've just galaxy brained baiting the TP sound to allow Shados to get a bit of a surprise through from CT, that is actually nuts. That could be it. I'm going to just carry on like it wasn't, but you know what? You think about that one because now we've got Izzy in a 1v2.
読ませの
but blinded. Second flash to follow
TP をしようと思ったけど。
And there it is. Shados to close 13-5. What an incredible round from Gambit and what an incredible map from Gambit. From absolutely lifeless the first time we saw them to this. What a change up here.
And as well, Split was just
ナッツの守りがマジで
back and forth.
硬いな。
Yes, it looked more comfortable on the side of Gambit, but you're still thinking Supermassive Blaze is still making this interesting. Like they're still maintaining that standard from map 1.
A のバイパーのウルトなんてなんかどっから来ても勝てそうですよ。
Immediately in between maps, I need to know the thought process there because that's like you said, Galaxy Brain. This is literally like a crazy level of Valorant right there. The mind games in that last round was something to be admired.
We still have more. This is the beauty of a best of 5. We still get more maps to come. And before we get to them, we have the desk to break down everything you saw. And you know what? If that is the case, I'm sure Lothar would have noted if he thinks that is the sound cue bait there. We're going to find out in a moment's time after the break with the analyst desk. Is now in a 1v3 and I do not know what has just happened. This is completely flipped on its head and Russ is called upon. That's going to get to halfway. I don't think he can stop it going that far. Nats! What a play again.
やったな。2 誰か。ブレイブが
Just when you think it's all but done, and
裏取ったやつが
I'll say it now,
やらかしとった
Gambit
という
got
感
away
じで
with absolute murder in terms of retakes on this map in particular versus Ascend. I don't know how many there were, but
Spike planted.
that is not good.
ここ
To
で
lose a pistol
う
round
まい
like
こと入れ
that.
違った
Brave.
入れ違ったまでよかった
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes that could happen, Lauren. It
左クリックだったら
can, not act as intended.
2キルだったのに
Oh, we can
最低でも
actually
1
shoot
キルは
some
入ってた
kills. Well, a classic. Should be.
Should be. I just. I don't understand what's going on in this game already. It's going to be a wild one. I can just feel it in my
2
bones.
クリッ
But
クはね
bites from both sides
今
coming
あって
out
も外れ
here.
るからな
Gambit with the map in the pocket at its
ただ
stands.
プラントできて
A round lead coming in at least on this now. Present shown towards sewer, so they're responding
結構
accordingly.
削ったんで
SMB gonna,
割
Ooh,
と
actually lean. What is going
Oh.
on? Even Redgar's a little baffled by it, and I don't blame him.
逃げた
That's just so
いや
aggressive.
この
But
ス
it's
モークが
worked out
強
at
い
least for the first pick. But now it's that next step that's a tricky one. Still 2 players here and a decent enough crossfire. Shados, 2 flashes still to hand if he feels he has the timing to whip one out. I don't know if he does, but he's going to isolate Russ comfortably. No trade comes in. Defo wants to swing on the flash. Spots one towards
flash
Sue.
を
Now
上げてい
there's
く
problems for Shados. Maybe not. He's got Chronicle by his
お
side, so there's no
ーカバーが
problems
早
to
か
be
った
found. And there it is. Shados keeps his cool and his composure up against a bought up SMB.
And that's a key point because again, criticized Gambit previously.
このマップはギャンビットじゃないや SMB 落とせないから
to
ね
be proactive, at least hold.
もうこれでギャンビットが勝ったらギャンビット優勝になります
From Gambit, Redguard, yes, you could argue overstepping the mark slightly, but a fantastic recovery here to secure this round. Really on the back of Shados. I mean, initially the bait is
ダブルピークしたけど
Shados
こっちもダブルピークだった
tucked in graffiti, and I think initially unnoted for most of that. Look at this again. Look at again proactive, Lauren. They've walked C long. They're walking A lobby.
They're not sitting back. Maybe playing into this composition a little, and I don't mind it. It's going to be a
これ
weird
後ろ
round,
が
but
め
it
っちゃ速い
could be a problem, and it is for Russ at the very least. The first to fall, but
た
now
だ3人体制で見て
there's
実は
so
2
many
人目
more
い
boys
る
here
と
where
思わ
they
な
left
い
off. Look at them, they're just mowing them down. Izzy's done well to at least get another, but Nats is farming
ナッツこのマッ
today.
プでサイファ
He
ー
is loving life. Obviously not cracking a smile. The man is ice cold every single day of the week. The babyface killer for sure. 7-0, man. Look at this guy.
We'll see here if the trend continues, because again with that force, around ahead of where we should be effectively. And well, 2 rifles here. Redgar again
まあセカバイしてたんでこのラウンドから
opting for a scope.
ちゃんと武器が買えま
No
すと
ultimates available just yet, other than the neural theft for Nats. A good opportunity again to gain an extra round in hand here, and this time we'll sit back and respecting the purchase here of SMB to see actually how disciplined the approach is here. Because again, another switch up. They're going to keep SMB guessing with these setups from Nats now. Chronicles walk in mid. Okay, just to deal with the turret, I guess. Yeah.
SMB はもう赤いドラゴンバンダルで統一している
funkiness that was
チー
brought
ム
out
と
in
し
those
て
first couple of rounds.
人気ですか
Feels
ら
like
ね
SMB want to just take a second and maybe temper the pace a little bit. There's Redgar still posted towards long. Chronicle gets a lot of attention in middle, taking a big chunk of damage as well, down to 30 here. Molly in the smoke to try and keep control. Calls Nats over, and he's playing so
Oh.
close to this. Brave has found Redgar, so this could open up a
こ
potentially.
の1キルを起点にどっち行くかっていうところ
Looks
で
like
ね
they might be.
A 行くのか A ワイヤー2つあるんだよなただ A にもう A 角ほぼ A 角してるね
He has just
いやこれは守りのローテート早いぞただサイトが取れるしっかりいやーワイヤーに対して抜いてったさあもうサイトの中入っちゃってるたくさんの人はこれは苦しいわお
The flank is so good. Gambit have got them wrapped up right now.
And again, it's the little things. Chronicle dealing with that turret.
いやー行くサイトをちょっと選択ミスしたかという感じですかね
completely undetected. Again, they can go one for
A
one
以外に行ってたら
all they've got to do is buy another
有利だった
3 to 5 seconds, and the byproduct is I'm not sure actually where the
ま
alarm
あ倒したのが
looking here at the
ロングだ
minimap.
からな
Nats is walking through for free. For free.
Yeah, nothing stopping.
Spike down A. One enemy remaining.
Man, he's got a read of this game right now. He's just full-on Matrix moding this. Just everything seems so simple to him. The timing is just weaving his way through the fabric of it. Redguard this time. Gonna opt for that C hold, but a quick play up through Garage.
Yeah, is he down to 49 HP? Did actually connect with the last.
Wow. Oh, more damage could be good here. He's actually tagging him up a fair amount as well. This should soften the rest coming up. Izzy, good connection. Finds Redguard, but there's a shutdown. There's a reply. It's so swift and it's so decisive. 4 quick kills, and this entire hit that had a little bit of something building behind it has been quelled. And there's Chronicle to catch the final player being Pora. And you know what? Map 1, they're going to do the same to him apparently. Gambit this time want in on the action though. They want that clean start of a run. 5-0 here in the grand finals between these two. Gambit mean business.
Nat still hasn't died.
いや、めちゃくちゃギャンビットの流れ。まあここ結構攻めマップですかね。まあプロでもそうだし、ランクとかでもまあ
Supermassive Blaze effectively have achieved nothing in terms of figuring out any sort of weakness here. They haven't found any value in terms of these round losses where they can say, actually, guys, look, they're playing, you know, X, Y, and Z because the adjustments every single round, yes, they're small, but again, it just keeps them guessing. Brave actually going to open up here. That's the first operator purchase actually on the side of Redguard.
Nats is walking long.
さあ、このナッツの位置が、これでもちゃんと見ると思うんだよな。お、しっかり待ってた。待ってた、偉い。
The timing has finally been caught off. He's finally got a grip on it. The net has been cast. They've managed to catch 2. Big entry work from SMB.
クロニクルも出ていくけど、ヘッド当てたけど。
They won't get an easy step towards the site at least. That's difficult to deny that. But they have options elsewhere. You can already see that lean towards C.
The
fact that none of these seekers went towards A. No other presence shown. Yep. You're ready. Gonna hit this rotation. SMB have managed to get through actually. No damage going to be done on the way through, and the wall actually going to take a little bit of chip damage from the seekers, but
ちょっと C かもったいなかった
still
が
hold off connector for the time being.
あ、SMB.
Good crossfire here. That's the first.
いいアングルで見てる。
Claim that, but there was always Izzy next line if needed. But Shados has found him, but it's effective trades with favorable numbers for SMB, and there it is. Finally, they get their round back off the back of 2 big picks as well. Those opening picks there, denying any slight aggressive leans. Nats walkabout, that deeper op play coming through. That's a really good way to start things off as a reply for SMB.
See if they can continue here.
What is this by? Double up?
Interesting. It must be nice to be able to purchase an operator and then very next round purchase one again. But I was because he was running the Marshal for so long, but
Defo and Redguard.
yeah, this is
まあ
interesting.
デフォはアルティメットあるし、リドガーも1キルでアルティメット上がるから。
Supermassive Blaze to rotate to the other operator, right?
このアルティメットよけたのが絶妙に食らってるな。でも微妙に避けたというよりは当たりどころが微妙だった。
I guess Redguard on an island. Yes, he's got an op, but he could now get overwhelmed if Garage is open. There is still a little bit of utility there, so it's not completely up for grabs yet. But what does SMB do now?
They walk towards the operator.
これ A リンクのワイヤー面白いね。これ
Considering it, yeah,
the
well,
other
one
operator.
of them.
どういう理由で置いてるんだ。
Please don't walk towards one of the operators. Just either of them.
2 operators or Nats. I mean, none of these are nice options. Nats is still controlling this
A と C はオペレーターで完全に抑えてるって感じ。B はカメラで。ガレージはワイヤーで。さあこの氷が抜きに行ったけど設置まで安全に完了した。まあ、安全とは言えないけど完了した。さあここが正面の打ち合いはものすごい強いんだよこれ。いや完璧だったな。設置できてスローオーブがめちゃくちゃ決まった。
We'll find a consolation in the form of Rust, but expect them to hold on to weaponry here, and 4 potentially will survive for Supermassive Blaze. 3. Nobody else. Again, this is fine to give one away there. I guess they're trying to. Okay, Brave will actually remove that. Will Shados retrieve it? He's considering it. I don't think he did. He held onto his rifle. Again, a costly round for Gambit. Massive investment on the back of two operators. But I love that. Again, with, you know, what we tend to see, you know, kind of cover that cross on A lobby. Obviously, Izzy with a cloud burst. Again, just on the back of that, it would be basically noting the position of one of the operators, but there's another one on the other extremity. It's almost like they hear the operator on A, they try and drift towards C. It's a great kind of contingency there from Gambit.
Mid walk. Red Guard's just walking down mid. Flash comes in. Going to confirm attendance, at least on the other side of things. The turret's there, but it's not shown much. Red Guard's going to get away with it. Yeah, that's one you're going to take every day of the week. Now he can
まあそれタレット浮いてたらないと思うよね。
SMB just have to suffer that initial loss.
それまでに入っ
As
た
the。res, get a tricky spot to get it, but with Gambit reverting back, I think they're happy to give that one up at least. And potential actually for Shados to flash out if there aren't enough reinforcements around this res. Oh, he's going to try and nade it. The nade could be perfectly timed.
さ
No
あ蘇
way.
生まで。これグレが。オーマイガー。ただ抜き返した。
Impeccable work. And Shados is still here. This is very nice, but
ここ
still
オペレーターで。
there's still life in SMB. Yeah,
Shados
this isn't
がオペレーター拾
over,
っ
but
た
Nats
よ。
is getting curious, and I wonder if he's going to once again find that perfect timing as the clock hand will tick a little further. But he's just going to push himself up towards Garage. Now the spike is leaning towards C. We do have the camera there as well. This is
Oh,
a kind of
Peretta.
show of strength towards B, but it's not pulling too much attention. Bear in mind we also have the push up from Chronicle over towards A. So now the C piece comes in. They are here at the right time. Nats is going to get himself actually in a really curious position. Red Guard's moved up. It's Nats to find Brave.
お、ナッ
That's a scary
ツが
kill.
殺し
Nats is
に
going to close the gap, or he's going to try
行
to.
ったけどちょっと足りなかっ
This is
た。
incredible work for the man, just isolating players
Wow.
everywhere, making it so easy for
Speed
the
over
rest of
が強い。
them between Redgar and Nats. What a way to control the round. These two as a 1-2 punch just shut it the hell out.
I love that. Just a small piece there, and I saw it. I just caught it on the minimap. As that presence is shown on B, the wall goes up straight away. Nats hops into his spy cam, and it's positioned above C long, right? So it catches this information. I think it actually spots two
まあこれ自分の
players.
銃声で聞こえなかっ
It
たね。
spots Brave, and it spots obviously Izzy dashing onto site. Now that right there is the reason you see no reaction whatsoever on B. And actually it covers all bases, right? They can play retake. They can give that up. And seemingly that's what a lot of teams do, but
移動が勝負する。
okay.
やられた。
Feeling himself at least.
Not this
3人
time.
ミット確認して、このまま B 詰めるのか
It's like again another hit and run attempt onto B
これ
site.
ガレージ怖いですね。
Now, I wonder what the difference maker may be this time. Nothing can really deny the spike plant. It's the playback in I'm looking at from potentially Nats here and Shados. Nats going through
Yeah.
spawn side,
Oh.
Shados working through Garage. He's only going to find
GG
one
トレ
here.
ード。
Izzy gets a great trade on it. So it's a
ナッツ
number
は
of
位置
advantage
バレてるのか
working
ワイヤー多分
in
壊した
favor
っぽい
of
な。
SMB, and they
ワイ
could
ヤー
do
っていう
with a
か。
bit of that. Chronicle going to slowly creep forward. He finds Brave. He looks for the follow, sprays him wildly, can't connect it through the wall.
まだ解除できてない
Still trying to be a presence here, still trying to find something.
No way.
Spots out one.
いやただ 1V2 場所バレてる
No way.
おお
There's no more burst to play with. Nats again has done it.
Nats was noted on that flank. They knew he was there, and he's still able to just buy 10 seconds. Again, they have to address site at that point, right? It's like, yeah, if we can't comfortably take this fight and address this flank control, we have to fight site. And Gambit,
いやちょっと連携ミスか今の。
what they're able to
SMB
achieve on Haven versus Ascend in terms of
まあ
retakes,
難しいとこ。
and again demonstrating that
どうしても
here
一
is
箇所見れない場所が出てき
it's
ちゃう感じだった
actually
ね。
insane, Lauren. It's crazy.
どっかを強気に飛び出していかないと。
I'm taken aback at the ability to work through this because
今回
SMB are
SMB
so
が早い。
good. I don't think, again, if you've maybe watched bits and pieces, maybe you haven't watched their full run, you know, you tune in for the final, I don't blame you, it's a good game. They are the
お
real
おポーラ。
They are
ガンガン
the
行くねもう。
Turkish superstars. And you can see it. Look at, you give them a little bit, you give them maybe a fight that they can take without Nats on the flank, that's going to happen to you. But now they fall back away from this. That's still on long. He's still going to hear this. He's got his camera as well, not too far away, so he's going to probably have a good idea that maybe they've fallen away from this one, but where do they go
レショ
now?
とかガンガン行くのかなり
Chronicle going to act
むずい
as
けど
the
な。
insurance policy here at least. I did see Shados flash into B site. No information on the back of that, but Chronicle now, I mean, is he got to be careful if he's solo? No. They're going to stack up here.
さあクロニクルがこ
Chronicle
う
with
待
it
っ
all
て
to
る。
do. He actually hears. No
あ撃っ
way!
ちゃった。えあ出た。
Spike down. C.
Huh? Ult
アルティメット。
gets the gun out in time as well. Redgar catches Izzy trying to make his way out of the danger. Protocol actually
脱出のアルティメット。
I do not understand Pora,
ただポーラがここで落
though.
首。
Well, that's Nats now gone. Can they get back in
これは
time?
A
Can
取れ
they
る
get
でしょ、
A
ポーラ
in。 time?
そのまま
TP
アルティメッ
comes
ト
in, they're
で
gonna get towards heaven at the bro. Excuse me,
A
hell.
サイド2
For Brave at the very least.
入りま
They
した
have KJ there as well, so they've been kind of building up to this 25 seconds. There's the KJ ult. This is a good time buyer. Shados might try and find a way through. If he can isolate that spike coming up long, he's
これ
living
逃げれないぞ
in between
Shados
borrowed time.
倒
But
しきった
no, Turco considers it really well. Really well maintained. The thought process alone is perfect. And now the spike plant, SMB
いやこれは
have somehow turned this back in their potential favor.
SMB が
One
圧倒的有
smoke
利。
from Molly. I think a dash and one smoke on the side of Redgar
ただ
as
これ
well,
3
so
人だと全箇所は見れないん
expect
で
to still go for this. We'll try and smoke off and get onto site here, and we'll actually drop through.
表
Tower
2
gonna
って言わ
spot
れ
out one. Chronicle finds two though.
Oh.
Turco will respond.
クロニクルがこれ取り返してってわー
How?
何があった
How do they keep getting away
don't-
with this on retakes?
I mean, call the man Hassan. He is getting away with it every single time, and he can't keep doing it.
ヘ
but
ブ
he
ン
is.
スターをクロニクルが
Don't understand it.
気合
Gambit.
で倒して
They're on what? 8 to 2
っていう
now?
感じか。
This is something else. And again, be it, you know, the Nat show, I look at this young player and he reminds you of, you know, Yakinda, this very stylish play, very, very thoughtful, very considered, but so explosive in the way he approaches. But Chronicle has also been there alongside him at this point. This clutch alone was incredible. SMB it finally looked like a round that they could have, Hypok. It finally looked like maybe that was their time
It
to
was
get
a
another
round
on
they
the board.
absolutely should have, Lauren. That is insane from Gambit. And look at this now.
いや
Turco
ガンビット
looking to get
8-2だ
aggressive towards long, actually noted by Turco.
わでもちょっと
Nicely
甘えた
timed there, and Izzy will find a second. So
わ強い SMB 強いわ
Gambit, a little overzealous at least in the early round here.
SMB ここに来てかなり
If it can be recovered, because
Oh.
Nats is going to find one. Russ is noted. Will respond actually. With 2v4 presented, Redgar and Nats. But left to do.
どうなる ?3 対2までいった
Oh dear, yeah.
Oh.
That's been spotted. Izzy saw that from the back of the site for a good couple of seconds. And
Kakko
this is the thing,
撃破されてた。
when SMB managed to contain those early advances, those early glimpses, it looks great. But it's so much easier said than done, quite clearly. But 3 to 8, it's still a bit of room for SMB here, but this is where the pressure's going to mount. This looks like Gambit might have potentially done enough, but we're yet to see. We have to see how this looks on the other side, but I just... If this ends up even more favorable to Gambit... Actually, no, surely it's going to be 4 to 8. Surely, because they've got rifles, they've got all the goodies they need. Izzy's got ult, Turco's got ult. This has got to be an SMB round.
Surely, right? So yeah,
このモルトフなんだ
three bodies already for Gambit coming across.
じゃあ3人いるぞ
Redgar opens up,
これ
Chronicle finds the second.
おお
A
こ
few
の
more shots inside the smoke here and
これ
SMB
入っ
left
ちゃ
to
う
try and
それちょっと
recover
行き過ぎじゃ
this.
ないおお抜いた抜いた抜いた
Absolute
わお
dismantling
なんだこ
of
れ
Supermassive Blaze here. 9-3 for Gambit here.
Switching sides.
I'm absolutely blown away. Again, night and day from how this series started out, and Gambit in total control now. Supermassive Blaze, again, they've got to be rattled. They've got to be feeling the pressure. And now, honestly, I'm expecting mistakes on the defense. They're going to have to try and be very proactive to take these rounds. Because late round, I feel like Gambit win that. I feel like they win that every day of the week.
I'm getting nervous. I'm getting nervous for SMB. I really thought that round could have been theirs. They had the better purchase. They had everything they needed to work with. That could have been...
いや
3 to 9 feels very
SMB 追い詰められてるぞ
different
かな
to
り
4 to 8.
It does.
It just... It feels so different. That pistol round could be almost... Not just map point, but series point leaning for Gambit if they get it clean. But we'll find out. Already Gambit going to be going... Looks like an all-in piece towards A. No real... sitting back on this, but a couple of players present, one being Izzy. Good start for SMB. Finding Nats is a great beginning. And there's the reply though, and Russ is looking a little...
いやただギャンビットが取り返す
Just shoves him in his grave, and now somehow it's a 3v2. How do they keep doing
Bear
this?
in mind,
Turco and Pora, man, you can't be happy about it now.
the dynamic duo themselves will try and wall their way on. Try and isolate this player on hell, actually. No way, Tucker still takes a headshot on the way in, but the heal comes through. Pora finds one, Shados responds. It's just Pora left now, Shados. 3 on the pistol round for him. And Gambit strike first in the second half, put themselves on double digits already, Lauren. And let's just take a second to consider. Izzy found 2 kills to open that round up.
いや、ファーストラウンドも取られちゃった。
Yep.
They effectively were. I think they had at the timing. I think it was like a 1v3 to enter this site.
Yep.
あ、ここのヘッドショット痛いね。
Insane. Gambit are just on another level right now.
Haven't seen them look this strong across the board in a minute or two, but we're right back in. Gambit just charging through towards C. Plenty of players towards Garage, so they might get in on this. This could be a bit of a brawl here. Nats on the other side. And here it is. Yeah, everything noted, everything seen. It's Shakos and Redgar keeping them away. Spike now to be planted. Everything looking like that red star on the jersey is going to be getting 11 on the board pretty soon. SMB, any chance to get something back in this just looks like it's dwindled.
I fear, I think Izzy and Russ faced with a difficult decision. Again, at this point as well, you don't want to feed ultimates. That's a consideration to make with only a couple of rounds left to play. Russ will find 1. Nats to fall, but Defo cleans things up. 4 will survive here. And 2 rifles as well. So, again, this round 3 in the second half is looking...
SMB はもうここを取るしかない。かなり。ここを落としたら、もうお金がね、ないですよ。ここを落としたら。次2900入るって言っても、もう今残り300とか100とかしかないから。
Slowly and methodically taking it away from them round by round, map by map.
次入ってもう3000円しかお金なくなっちゃう。3000円以上。ここでシーカー切っての B サイド。SMB はアルティメット上がってるんだ。おお、何
Absolute nonsense. Redgar should not be able to get away with that. The timing could not have been better. A reload here and there, and surprise on the other side. Finds Izzy.
ここまでか
This is going to be 12. I do not see a way for Russ to do anything. The rifle in his hands, merely a formality at this point. The aggression, the timing, it was unbelievable, unfathomable. SMB even caught off guard, going, "There's no way he's coming through that smoke."
Again.
なんだろう、リロードのタイミングできたのかな、今。ちょうど。
Russ gonna cling on to this weapon for dear life. Gambit now on the brink of closing out Haven. And Supermassive Blaze are not going to have an awful lot to throw at this round. I have to take a quick look at the ults, but the way these have gone out, 2 rounds where 4 survive, I don't think the progress is going to be great. No, Izzy not 2 away from the Blade Storm, Pora 2 off the lockdown, nothing else close. A Spectre, a Judge, 2 Spectres actually, sorry. Actually, Turco, no armor. He does have to heal, yes, but...
And here it is. The last go of things for SMB and the final hurdle for Gambit. Brave on the other side having to deal with the amount of pressure, and of course it's Nats to get things started. Redgar as well towards Brave. We're down to 3 to try and deny it. Gambit on the verge of walking away in that first position, that first spot. Nats again.
いやー、おしまいかこれ。いやー、これはもう 1v5。Oh my god.
Russ is your last man alive. As Gambit now moments away, and there it is. Gambit are the EMEA Stage 3 champions, and my god, do they deserve it.
And look at them. I mean, Gambit, the stuff of urban myth throughout this year, finally able to show us what they're capable of outside of their region. These guys have played absolutely insane against the odds this stage, from dropping to the lower bracket versus Ascend to coming back and delivering one of the best series of this event to earn their spot here in the grand finals. And then that performance today, just insane. I can't help but feel like they're just getting started. Now
SMB も強かったんだけど、なんか調子が出てなかったな。
international stage, and I couldn't be more excited for them, Lauren.
We have a superstar in the making in Nats. We have an incredible team to get behind for EMEA, and what a truly brilliant victory for the boys on the screen. You can see how much it means to them. That was a truly brutal way to start this best of 5. It was not an easy beginning, and they bounced back and then some. But this is the Gambit that were whispered of, murmured of, you know, the rumors of these scrims that these, as I said, these NA teams, the EU teams, the Turkish teams are all hearing about leading into Iceland, but now coming into Berlin, we have them in their final form.
Yeah, just absolutely insane. I mean, Nats has been a talking point nonetheless, but
まあ EU 地域はこのギャンビット、あとアセンド、でこの SMB あたりはかなり競ってる感じで強さが。で、時点で G2 ぐらいの、なんかそういうイメージだ。
No, complete agreement. I think the hardest part for me today is
その3つはなんかどこが勝ってもおかしくないよ。
which is your pay safe card player
感
of
じ
the
が
match. I
あります
think
ね。
there is one player who may be leading it a little in
LA
my
はセン
mind.
チネルです。
There's maybe one player who kind of had a nutty performance. It's got to be Nats, surely, Hypoc. Is that where your vote would go?
Again, I'm all on the Nats train. He's been insane throughout, and today no exception. Again, great to see him switch up and kind of make adjustments that somehow make him even more exciting to watch, Lauren.
ナッツはすごいな、しかし。
He's a scary, scary prospect of a player.
大体こういう大会とかでも目立つのはデュエリストだったりするけど、C ネットとか。
So talented in so many different ways, but congratulations to
Gambit.
An impeccable one from them,
かなり目
proving
立った。
how talented that CIS region truly is and why it strikes fear across the board. However, that does mean for SMB a little unfortunate there in the end of things. If they can get themselves together and look more like map 1, more across, you know, the entire collective, different game altogether, but who knows? Not for us to wrap up. That is for the desk, who we'll be joined with in a moment's time.
ただトゥルコはめっちゃ強かったな。しかしながら。